game time.
I believe this one's it's a rookie card, I know, but I feel like it's the first card that I ever, big league card. Obviously, as a kid, trying to get to the big leagues, the dream of making it. But as a kid that had cards, right, as a kid, this is like seeing your card the first time is pretty cool. So that's pretty powerful when you see that card.
Do you see yourself maybe one day after baseball, like maybe food critic, food writer?
I would love to do that. That's the plan. I've been doing it ever since I was in the big leagues. It's just fun. It's fun to interact with people, like the fans, because a lot of my followers are baseball fans. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to interact with them on a topic that's not baseball. A lot of people seem to rally around that. I mean, who doesn't love good food?
I want to take a look at what's so unique about Canning's mechanics. That's on the way.
City Pregame Live is brought to you by City. Feel the joy.
This most reliable fiber internet in the tri-state. Switch now and get a 5-year price lock and a $400 prepaid card. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com for all the details. Terms do apply.
You want to get the most for your money. That's why more Mazda buyers choose Ramsey Mazda. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-50 all-wheel drive. Only $249 a month for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda.
Call 833-853-2970 for details. Excludes tax, title, and registration. Zero security deposit. VIN SN 320885. MSRP $32,285 and $6,225.
Mets fans, Fanatics Fest is making its return to New York City this summer. Taking place at the Javits Center from June 20th to June 22nd. Join fellow Mets fans at the premier sports fan event that brings you closer to your favorite sports brand and athletes than ever before. Meet Mets legends such as Mike Piazza, John Franco, Doc Gooden, manager Carlos Mendoza, and so many more. For tickets and information, go to fanaticsfest.com. That's fanaticsfest.com. Fanatics Fest, the world's largest arena for sports, collectibles, and athletes.
Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop, a proud sponsor of the Mets. This is a ready-to-drink premium seltzer that comes in 4 gin-based, all-natural flavors. Citrus, melon, passion fruit, and apricot. Only 3 grams of sugar and 130 calories. Celebrate this season with Gin and Juice.
Sloman's is offering a free home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME.
The Subway Series is proudly presented by JAG Physical Therapy. Visit jagpt.com today.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Cap. Today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Welcome back as we wrap up the Mets pregame show as we get set for first pitch between the Mets and the Yankees. Our player to bank on is brought to you by California Cryo Bank. Build your family with the #1 sperm bank in the world. And today our player to bank on is Luis Torrens. He was our guest on the leadoff spot yesterday, and he talked about the approach going into starting a day game after a night game and how the preparation starts so much earlier. Well, let's hope that he and Griffin Canning are prepared to take on this very impressive New York Yankees lineup. That'll do it for the Mets pregame show. On the other side, we join Keith Radd and the Hall of Fame radio voice of the New York Mets, Howie Rose, for lineups and first pitch between the Mets and the Yankees. Enjoy the ballgame, folks. This is Odyssey Mets Radio.
This has been the Odyssey Mets pregame show, brought to you by Spectrum, a fast and reliable connection, making more things possible. Spectrum, RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. Visit rwjbh.org. Margaret Tietz Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Roto-Rooter. Leave the plumbing to the pros at Roto-Rooter. Route 4 Hyundai in Paramus, New Jersey. Invesco QQQ, the official ETF of the New York Mets. Invesco Distributors, Inc. Westbury Toyota, #1 in the tri-state and proud broadcast sponsor of Odyssey Mets Radio. Peerless Boilers. Visit peerlessboilers.com for a dealer near you. And by ELEC 825, building our future. This is Odyssey Mets Radio.
In life, a curveball can be thrown at any moment, and you need a team that knows how to hit it out of the park. The Rothenberg Law Firm has been crushing curveballs, sliders, and fastballs thrown at their clients for over 50 years. They're a team with remarkable courtroom experience, winning and collecting billions for their clients, because every setback deserves a major comeback. The Rothenberg Law Firm, 1-800-624-8888.
Lawyer for injured ones, injurylawyer.com.
The future isn't scary. Not realizing its potential, however, could be. Invesco QQQ. Let's rethink possibility. Invesco Distributors, Inc.
In today's evolving market, shaped by private equity and mega mergers, choosing the right accounting firm is more crucial than ever. At Anshin, a partner-owned firm since 1923, we take the time to understand your unique circumstances to develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a winning game plan, let Anshin deliver value where others can't. Visit anchin.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, helping you recalculate what's possible.
This Odyssey Sports broadcast is brought to you by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico. It's 2025. New York Mets baseball on Odyssey Mets Radio.
Breaking ball hit deep to right center field. Back near the wall. Back goes Tucker. She is gone. Francisco Lindor. Mark Vientos hits one deep to left field. Back goes Suzuki onto the track. He jumps. It's gone. A home run. 1-1 to Bart. Breaking ball hit deep to left field. Back goes Nimmo onto the track at the wall. He jumps and he made the catch. Brandon Nimmo looks as though he's taken a home run away from Joey Bart.
Beatty sends a high drive, right center field. Tucker is back to the wall, and it's gone! Into the Chicago bullpen.
Diaz sets. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike three. Put it in the books.
New York Mets baseball is brought to you by Nissan. Fuel your epic summer with a test drive at the Nissan Summer Sales Event. Invesco QQQ, the official ETF of the New York Mets. Invesco Distributors, Inc. The New York Lottery. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. The Rothenberg Law Firm. InjuryLawyer.com. Cadillac and your tri-state Cadillac dealers. Cadillac is the official luxury vehicle of the New York Mets. Thrivewell Infusion, the official IV partner of Mets Radio. Veg, ER for pets.
national anthem here at Yankee Stadium on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon. How about that? A 1:05 start on a Saturday. Doesn't get much better than that. And our game time temperature is brought to you by Peerless Boilers. Visit peerlessboilers.com for information and a dealer near you. And remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best-built boilers. Under sunny skies, 74 degrees at game time. We'll come back to look at the pitching match up next on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Kicks.
Diving for that grounder got you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Layup, take you down? We've got specialists for that. With 45 Castle Connolly top doctors, Orland & Cohen specialists are considered among the best in the nation by their peers, which can mean a better outcome for you. From Staten Island to Southampton, our network is open 7 days a week, so you can feel better, faster. Visit OrlandCohen.com.
Mets fans, when taking a charter bus, there's just one choice. Best Trails and Travel, New York City's premier charter bus company. Best Trails and Travel has the highest level of charter bus service in the city and has been serving New York's leading corporations, pro sports teams, and individuals for 30 years, offering premier customer service and the newest fleet of buses in the industry. Whether you're traveling with family, friends, or colleagues, Best Trails and Travel guarantees you the ultimate traveling experience. Visit them at besttrailstravel.com or call 212-206-6974.
Taking a Cadillac is more than just taking a drive. It elevates every journey. It's the smooth excitement of an all-electric Lyriq, the exhilarating thrill of pushing the limits in a Cadillac Optic, the liberating freedom in the expansive XT6, or the confidence that commands attention in an Escalade or Escalade IQ. Discover which Cadillac is right for you and elevate every journey. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer.
Let's get moving with Centers Healthcare. Centers Healthcare has a different approach to care. Here, you rehab, relax, recover, and go home. Our state-of-the-art technology empowers your rehab journey with us. Healing from surgery now comes with amenities like Starbucks, smart TVs, and personalized recreation. At Centers Healthcare, what matters most is getting you back to the life you had. Visit centershealthcare.com today or call us at 800-305-9151. Centers Healthcare. We're not just care. We are care that moves you.
Pat McCarthy here, and I'd like to tell you about my alma mater, the College of New Jersey. U.S. News ranks teams.
I'm Jonathan Mayo, and for more than 20 years, I've traced the path of baseball's rising stars, navigating the back roads of the national pastime and basking in the glow of small-town America's spirit, where the team is woven into the fabric of everyday life, where it's more than just a game. It's a celebration of the people, the traditions, and the culture that give these places their soul. This is Grassroots.
I'm going to throw out a restaurant kitchen term to you, and then hit me with the baseball one. I'll start first.
Okay.
Mise en place.
Oh, mise en place. That is, as the chef, you put all your different ingredients out, kind of before you start cooking, right?
You got it, man. Yeah. That's the most important
That's a tough one. I hear this one a lot because of my name, can of corn.
Easy fly ball.
And you're just too stylish to have superstitions.
Zero. I can't do it. Too many collared cleats, too many gloves, too many wedding gloves, too many bats.
I do put on my right glove first, then the left, then the thumb guard, then I put on my leg guard, my elbow guard.
Anything you put on first?
Nah, not really.
Nothing?
Nah. I like to say I'm not superstitious, but a little stitious.
He has not seen the Mets since 2021 as a starter, 2022 as a reliever through just 3 innings of relief. But for Schmidt, he's already in his 6th Major League season, former first-round pick out of South Carolina. This year, just 5 starts. He's had some issues with right rotator cuff tendonitis, 1-1 with a 4.73 earned run average. And for Schmidt, cutters, knuckle curves, sweepers, and sinkers. Does not give up a lot of hard contact, but you can catch him for a ball in the air that maybe in this park can leave the yards. That's a look at the pitching matchup. Clark Schmidt against Griffin Canning. We'll come back with the starting lineups and first pitch from the Bronx on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Kicks.
The Chef IQ Sense is a must-have wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates under or overcooking your chicken, fish, or meat to achieve perfection. Order the newly released 3rd-generation Chef IQ Sense now with so many upgrades at chefiq.com.
It's a bumpy road to the postseason, but you can smooth out your ride with KYB Shocks and Struts. KYB Shocks and Struts are available at Parts Authority Auto Parts Superstores, where the answer is yes.
Play the newest scratch-off games from the New York Lottery. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids.
Some overnight oats right before the game. My teammates look at me like, what are you doing, dude?
My mom's cooking, probably. She makes some good. She's got a tuna fish casserole. That's pretty good.
I went 5 for 5. I need to eat the same thing. Last time, Saturday, I ate arepa with eggs, and then next day, I gotta eat arepa with eggs. So my mom make it for me, and then when my mom is with me,
everything's good.
I save a lot of money.
Estamos lindo.
It is a 1933 Gaudi Babe Ruth card. It is 8.5 PSA. It's graded higher than the one in the Smithsonian.
This card at one point came with a packet or a stick of chewing gum.
This card actually is almost a century old. It was bought for a penny.
So the fact that just the heritage of a card like this is now coming up almost 90 years later into an auction, it's a pretty special moment.
Catching H. McNeil at second, Terrence catching, Beatty at third, Taylor in center field. And now for the New York Yankees, who are 26-18. They have a 5-game lead in the American League East over both Toronto and Boston. Boston's where the Mets will be on Monday night. For the Yankees, they have Ben Rice, who was off last night leading off. The lefty will DH. Right fielder Aaron Judge bats second. Cody Bellinger in center field bats third. Paul Goldschmidt hitting cleanup, playing first base. Switch hitting outfielder Jason Dominguez. He'll play left today and bat 5th. Anthony Volpe, the shortstop, bats 6th. J.C. Escarra, the catcher, hits 7th. DJ LeMahieu in year 15 in the major leagues. He'll bat 8th and play second base. And Jorbit Bibas, the third baseman, bats 9th. Clark Schmidt makes the start for the Yankees. 5 starts, he is 1-1 with a 4.73 earned run average. One more time for the Yankees. Rice, the DH, Judge in right, Bellinger in center, Goldschmidt at first, Dominguez in left, Volpe at short, Escarra the catcher, LeMahieu at second, Bibas at third. Yankees have taken the field in the home pinstripe with the midnight blue NY across the chest. The hats again are different for both teams this weekend. Armed Forces weekend. And Clark Schmidt wears a camouflage hat with the New York NY interlocking on the front of it. The Mets remain in those road gray uniforms, gray top, gray pants, New York written in blue across the chest, trimmed in orange. The helmets, at least, are the same for the Mets. Blue helmets with the orange NY interlocking on the front. Beautiful day for baseball, sunglasses, sunscreen. We are ready to go. So is the Hall of Fame radio voice of the New York Mets, Howie Rose.
All right, thank you very much, Keith. And it is a picturesque afternoon here at Yankee Stadium. We've had so much cloud and fog and cool weather recently that you get a day like this. It's Norman Rockwellian. It's just that beautiful a setting here at Yankee Stadium where they do one thing that's really cool that they've done forever, although I'm straining to see if, they do have it in order. The Yankees put all of the various Major League teams' flags atop it's technically a frieze. We've all grown up calling it the facade, but in any event, they line up those flags in the order of the standing of the clubs in the various divisions, and that is such a cool thing. Of course, they started that when there were 8 teams in each league, and then 10, and of course then they expanded the divisions and so on and so forth. But it really is neat to look at the detail that goes into flying those flags atop the ballpark here. They tell a story.
Yeah, it's one of the things that does make this ballpark stand out. It's one thing that when I was a kid coming here, you'd look up and say, oh, that team's in first, that team's in last. And eventually they'd have to get a couple more because I'm sure we'll be expanding it at some point soon. But that's a whole other story.
Yeah, they may have to enclose the ballpark by the time they're done with all of that. But as people continue to file in, and you can tell where they're seated and where the patches of empty seats are, this place will be packed to be sure. They had 47,700 here last night, a sellout. And they should have something akin to that this afternoon as Francisco Lindor will step in, batting left-handed against the righty Clark Schmidt, who makes his 6th appearance of the year. He is 1-1 with a 4.73 ERA. Lindor just 1 for his last 12. That was that broken bat double in the 9th inning last night. And the first pitch of the game on the way. It's taken outside for ball 1, a 92-mile-an-hour sinker from Schmidt. Lindor batting .294 with 9 home runs, 27 runs batted in. He has homered against Schmidt. 1 for 2 against the Yankee right-hander. And the 1-0 fastball popped up left side of the infield, right along the third base line. Bibas back and makes the catch as he was backpedaling just to the edge of the outfield grass. So 1 man away on 2 pitches, and guess who's coming to home plate?
Well, he didn't tip his cap tonight or today like he did last night, Howie, but we heard from Juan Soto. He loves it, the treatment that he's been getting here.
I know that was very well choreographed by Juan last night. Of course, he'd been planning that for a few days. And Schmidt's first pitch to the left-hand batter, a fastball in for a called strike, a cutter, 0-1. Juan last night walked his first 3 times up, but then also was retired his last 2 plate appearances with a runner in scoring position. And that's been an issue for him. The 0-1 fastball to the knees, a called strike. And it's 0-2 to Soto, who's batting a very pedestrian .252 with 8 homers, 20 runs batted in. But with men in scoring position, Soto was just 5 for 37 on the year. He's a left-handed hitter, as you know, with enormous power. And the Yankees play him over to the pull side on the infield. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes with Pete Alonso on deck. Defensively, the Yankees have Goldschmidt at first, LeMahieu at second, Volpe at short, and Bibas at third. Dominguez, Bellinger, Judge left to right in the outfield. Escarra doing the catching for Schmidt. And now the 1-2. Down and in with a knuckle curve, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Now Soto took the first 2 pitches, both strikes, then took his sunglasses and fired them over to the on-deck circle. And since then, 2 pitches out of the zone, seeing a little bit better.
So 2-2 the count. The outfield pretty much straight away against him. And now Schmidt, left leg tap. Now the pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Threw a fastball by him at 96. So Soto down on strikes, and that gives a little more vitriol to the booing that the fans do. At the same time, they're applauding. They're basically applauding and booing all at once. And with 2 men away, Pete Alonso will be next.
Well, Schmidt just went right at him. I know he went 0-2, then 2-2, but that was just a heater. Up outside corner, blew it by him. Soto was not ready for the fastball.
So here's Alonso, who's in his first slump of the year. First pitch to the right-hand batter, a fastball cutter in for a called strike 1. Pete just 5 for his last 36, batting .303 with 9 home runs, 36 runs batted in, no longer the league leader in RBIs. Did you see what Wilmer Flores did last night, the former Met, who's now the league leader in RBIs? The 0-1 pulled on the ground to short, right at Volpe. He bobbles, recovers, throws to first in time, side retired. Wilmer Flores has tied Aaron Judge for the major league lead in runs batted.
Another W for Dave. Rose courtside thanks to Game Time.
What's up, guys? I'm front row at the concert thanks to Game Time. Woo!
Wait, Game Time has concert tickets?
Yeah, look.
Huh.
It's the best way to guarantee you're getting the lowest price to your favorite artists, too, even at the last minute.
What time is it? It's Game Time!
On the pros at DIY fixes. Call on the pros at Roto-Rooter. From leaky faucets to full-blown disasters, your MVP for plumbing solutions.
Roto-Rooter closes it out and sits down the side.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter. Wow.
New Jersey's got a lot of summer wow. From sun and wows to fun and wows. And every wow in between. Find your wow at visitnj.org. New Jersey, little state, lot of wow.
Last of the first inning at Yankee Stadium, the Mets went down in order against Clark Schmidt. Now it's Griffin Canning facing left-hand hitting Ben Rice, the Yankees' designated hitter. And the first pitch to him swung on, hit high in the air to straightaway center. Deep but playable. Tyrone Taylor under it and makes the one-hand catch. So 1 pitch, 1 out. Canning will take that every time. And, well, here comes Aaron Judge. Before he steps in, we'll give you the Mets defensive alignment brought to you by Olin & Cohen Orthopedic Group. Experiencing orthopedic pain, they've got specialists for that. Alonso at first, McNeil at second, Lindor at short, Beatty at third, Nimmo, Taylor, Soto left to right in the outfield. Luis Torrens catching. So here is Judge. Right-hand batter and the first pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. 0-1. Judge almost quietly last night had 2 for 4 with a run scored, couple of singles, but he is batting .414 to lead the majors. The 0-1 on the way, swing and a miss. Another fastball at 95. That one running just a little bit away from the right-hand batter. And Canning aggressively ahead of Judge here. No balls and 2 strikes, and Aaron Judge takes his time. Judge 15 homers to lead the majors, 41 RBIs. Oh, Wilmer Flores has caught him. Tied for the major league lead.
What a night last night. 3 home runs, 8 RBIs while you were sleeping.
0-2 the count to Judge. Canning deals. Swinging a high fly ball to right field. Soto is parked under it and makes the one-hand catch. 2 men away. Our umpires, this lineup brought to you by RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. Visit rwjbh.org. James Jean has the plate. Adam Hammery at first. Nestor Ceja at second. The crew chief, Todd Titchener, the umpire at third. And with 2 out, nobody on, a hot hitter, Cody Bellinger steps in. Left-hand batter, Kenning's pitch. Swing and a miss at a good, hard, biting, breaking ball. And the count 0-1. That was a back foot slider. And Bellinger does not maybe have as dramatic the uppercut swing as he did earlier in his career. But now he's on an 11-game hitting streak during which he's hit .340. The 0-1, swing and a miss at the fastball. Canning's got a lively heater early on here, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. He's made 3 starts in his career against the Yankees, giving up 7 earned runs in 16 innings. And the 0-2 on the way, outside with a changeup, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Actually, his career high in strikeouts is 12, and that came against the Yankees a couple of years ago. No score, 2 out, nobody on, bottom 1. Canning with a left leg kick, deals 1-2. Outside to Bellinger, fastball at 95. And the count 2-2 with Paul Goldschmidt waiting on deck. Remember now, Canning is great defensively. Won a Gold Glove 5 years ago. Like having another infielder out there. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball down and in. The slider missed, and it's 3-2. Of course, the Yankees have a guy on the injured list right now, the former Met Marcus Stroman, who quite frankly is as good a defensive, meaning fielding pitcher, as anyone I've ever seen. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a changeup, and that retires the side. Nothing across, 1 strikeout for Canning, and at the end of 1, Mets nothing, Yankees nothing on Odyssey. Mets.
Gosh, we've gone to Sea Dogs games since we were kids.
I've been coming to see the Sea Dogs for the last 30 years. Great experience.
Everybody here is just bends over backwards to help people out and wish the world was like it is right here at the ballpark.
We've always wanted to be more than just a baseball team. We want to be strong, active, contributing members of the community. And I think that effort is seen by the people and the fans, and they want to support that effort.
Hank Greenberg helped popularize the first baseman's mitt, holding a massive 13-inch pocketed glove. That was quickly banned, reducing the maximum size to 12 inches. Paul Richards also developed a black hole-sized catcher's mitt. This ginormous thing, measuring 42 inches in circumference, was known as Big Bertha, or the elephant, for its massive size. It was swiftly outlawed as well.
Let's Mets. Tomorrow's innovation awaits with Invesco QQQ. Let's rethink possibility. Brandon Nimmo, the cleanup hitter today against the right-hander, stands in. First pitch by Clark Schmidt is a breaking ball in for a called strike. 0-1. Nimmo on an 8-game hitting streak. He went 2 for 4 last night, including an RBI single in the 4th inning. His average up to 233, 8 home runs. The 0-1. Breaking ball, chop foul up the first base line. And it's 0-2 to Brandon with Mark Vientos on deck, and then Jeff McNeil as those scattered empty seats continue to fill in on this beautiful Saturday spring afternoon at Yankee Stadium. So you start at 1, you don't have those shadows to deal with. Outfielders much happier. 0-2 pitch taken high and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Dinner is at 6. All these things work in the same way, Howie. We're all on board with the 1 o'clock.
Like normal people. Remember how Buck Showalter used to rage against the 4 o'clock start? And he's not the only one. 1-2 pitch. Nimmo hits a breaking ball hard on the ground to third, smothered at the waist by Bibas. Fires to first in time, 1 away. And that will bring up Mark Vientos, number 5 hitter in the order, so he's in that 5th batter's spotlight. Sponsored by Key Food. Look for all of your favorite products at your local Key Food. Key Food and their family of supermarkets. Vientos has hit in 6 straight, batting .245 with 5 home runs, 17 runs batted in. Mark had a base hit in the 4th inning last night, going 1 for 4. And Schmidt with his first pitch, swing and a miss, 0-1. Schmidt throwing a 93-mile-an-hour fastball there. You know, we've mentioned this is Armed Forces Weekend. Baseball celebrating with the different caps that Keith was describing a little earlier. The 0-1 on the way. Breaking ball, he starts his swing. He goes around on appeal to first. So 0-2, says Adam Hammery. And in a sense, it's fitting that Clark Schmidt is on the mound for the Yankees today. His dad, whose name is Dwight, is a pilot for Delta Airlines and a former United States Marine Corps fighter pilot. The 0-2 breaking ball outside, 1-2. So I guess this is pretty cool if you're in the Yankees traveling contingent that Schmidt's dad, Dwight, has actually flown the Yankees team charter on occasion. I don't mean amazing. As a passenger. I mean, he's in the driver's seat. That's pressure. 1-2 on the way. Breaking ball swung on and missed, strike 3. That knuckle curve, a real weapon for Clark Schmidt. Punches out Vientos. So 2 up, 2 down. It'll bring up Jeff McNeil. McNeil did not start last night against the lefty Carlos Rodon, but Jeff came in the 9th inning to bat for Tyrone Taylor and drew a walk. McNeil batting at .244 with 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. No score, 2 out, nobody on. Top 2. Schmidt's first pitch, line towards right, but it's hooking foul and grazes the protective netting down the right field line. So it's 0-1 to McNeil. Luis Angel Acuna has been getting a lot of the time at second base, but Acuna's cooled off at the plate. He's 0 for his last 7 and 4 for his last 31. And of course, McNeil has seen some time in the outfield as well, starting very occasionally in center field. 0-1 pitch to Jeff. Swing on a ground ball to second, right at LeMahieu, down to his right knee. Throws to first in time, side retired. For the second straight inning, the Mets go in order.
A lot of fans and collectors will look at the T206 set as the more famous of the sets that were produced in the early part of the 20th century. And certainly they would carry more financial value. But when you talk to collectors, some will tell you that these T205s are actually more physically attractive. They're maybe the most physically attractive cards produced prior to World War II.
I remember the first series I had, the first home run I hit was a grand slam against Seattle, which was the team that I had played for the year before. As we know, Cleveland can get a little cold, so I would wear the dark blue long sleeves. And for some reason, this jersey, I always liked my jersey a little longer. The reasons for it, for a little padding, so when I would slide, I wouldn't get all patched up and roughed up.
Do you guys make your own brisket here?
Yes, we do. We are known by our brisket.
Barbecue brisket sandwich. Quality is better than other places and it looks good. We're ready to eat.
We go to an average 500 briskets per game. We hear a lot from our fans. They want to try something with wrap, easy to eat. So we say, well, let's do it like a brisket, wrap, and an egg roll.
That's beautiful. You get the gold medal for culinary brisketry here in Texas.
Yes.
Go to the bottom of Yankee Stadium through 3 half innings. We go to the bottom of the second with the team scoreless. And in case you forgot from about 2 minutes ago, the second inning is powered by Invesco QQQ, the official ETF of the New York Mets. Tomorrow's innovation awaits with Invesco QQQ. Let's rethink possibility. Invesco Distributors Incorporated. Now that ought to hammer it home once and for all.
Until tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm just looking at it through the prism of this day, this game. Paul Goldschmidt, he's looking at things more globally. He is revitalized right-hand batter, and the first pitch on the way, and a fastball from Griffin Canning over for a called strike. 0-1. Goldschmidt hitting .349 with 5 home runs and 24 runs batted in, having a great rebound season in his first year with the Yankees. The 0-1 on the way to the right-hand batter, popped up foul, going to the seats behind first base downstairs. So quickly 0-2 to Goldschmidt, who is second to teammate Aaron Judge in the American League in batting at .349. Also tied for 8th in the league in runs scored. With men in scoring position, he has been money. Here's the 0-2. Low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Goldschmidt as Canning missed with a slider. This guy's hit .444 with men in scoring position. Tremendous career with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then on to the St. Louis Cardinals. Former National League MVP and a Gold Glove winner. 1-2 pitch. Swing on a foul. Back to the screen. Canning very aggressive as he is challenging these hitters. Came in on the hands of Goldschmidt there. And Paul Goldschmidt fouled it back. Jason Dominguez is on deck. And then Anthony Volpe here in the home half of the second. 1-2. Canning kicks and deals. Swing on a roller to the shortstop hole. Backhanded by Lindor. Sets and throws in time to get Goldschmidt. 1 man away. And that will bring up Jason Dominguez. First 15,000 fans at the Mets game against the Chicago White Sox at Citi Field. That will be on Memorial Day, May 26th. We'll get a Sean Manaea camo jersey from Tunnel to Towers. For tickets, go to Mets.com/tickets. Manaea working his way back. Throwing bullpens now, face live hitters next week. First pitch to Dominguez, swung on and fouled back to the screen, 0-1. Jason Dominguez, switch hitter, batting left-handed, where he's done just about all of his damage. He's batting .236 overall, but .298 left-handed, just 5 out of 43 as a right-hand batter. 1 out, nobody on, last of the second. Ware scoreless. And the 0-1 pitch, taken low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Dominguez missed almost all of last year, recovering from Tommy John surgery. Not only pitchers have it. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss as he was out in front of a changeup. That changeup from the right-hander Canning, fading, in this case, down and into the left-handed hitting Jason Dominguez, who swung right over top of it. Beatty way off the line at third. And now the 1-2 pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball foul up the first baseline. Canning struck out Bellinger to win the first inning, recording the first Mets strikeout of the game, brought to you by Weichert Realtors. Don't settle for a good agent. Go for a great one at Weichert.com. 1-2 on Dominguez. Now Canning deals. Swinging a bouncing ball to first, backing up a half step as Alonso gets a big hop and throws to first in time as Canning covers, and there are 2 men away.
A lot of 2-strike counts early for Griffin Canning. It's his pace. He's dictating it, getting ahead, staying ahead. Doesn't have to strike everybody out, but able to put these guys away. You see, the Yankees are a tough team that they'll battle. 2 strikes, they'll foul off a bunch of pitches, drive your pitch count up. Canning is doing a nice job of spinning it the way he wants, letting them put the ball in play. Weak flyouts, weak groundouts.
That is a recipe for length from a starting pitcher, which the Mets could certainly use. Any team would tell you that, but especially the Mets. They've just gotten too many short starts from their starting pitchers, in particular last night from McGill. Here's Anthony Volpe, and the first pitch, breaking ball a little high, ball 1. And the Mets do have a new arm in the bullpen today. Their second lefty, Jose Castillo. They picked up earlier in the week. Mets saw him recently with Arizona. They DFA'd him. The Mets picked him up, and they sent Dedel Nunez back down. Here's the 1-0. Fastball high, 2-0. We were speculating last night that Max Kranick, who has struggled somewhat over his last several times out, pitched 2 1/3 in last night's game, might have been the one to go, but instead Dedel Nunez will get a little more work at Syracuse. Here's the 2-0 to Volpe. Swinging a slow hit chopper towards third, hustling after it. Beatty, bare hands, throws. He got him. Beautiful play by Brett Beatty. Aggressive, barehanded, strong throw. Inning over. Nothing across.
I'm going to throw out a restaurant kitchen term to you, and then hit me with the baseball one. I'll start first.
Okay.
Mise en place.
Oh, mise en place. That is, as the chef, you put all your different ingredients out kind of before you start cooking, right?
You got it, man. Yeah. That's the most important
That's a tough one. I hear this one a lot because of my name, can of corn.
Easy fly ball. The old Yankee, David Wells pitched his perfect game at the old Yankee Stadium for the Yankees against the Minnesota Twins. And all these years later, through 2 innings, neither pitcher, Clark Schmidt or Griffin Canning, has allowed a base runner. Now if they can just get through those last 7 innings, that's the easy part, right, Keith?
That's right. Something about those last 7 that are a little bit tougher than the first 2. Here's Luis Torrens, right-hand batter. Schmidt bounces into the line. First pitch goes all the way to the backstop for ball 1. Now, I know what you're thinking. The big return of a former Yankee turned Met this weekend. Luis Torrens, of course, who the Mets picked up from the Yankees' AAA team last year. He was playing with Scranton. And the Mets gave the Yankees $100,000 and got a great catcher. The 1-0 pitch is lifted in the air toward right field, sending Judge back to the track. Stops middle of the track, walks forward a step, and makes the catch for the first out. Well, you never know in this place, especially for a righty. You get the ball up, and all of a sudden Judge is 2 steps behind him. He's already onto the gravel, but Torrens flies out. Torrens was at 247 with a homer and 11 RBIs. He was a Yankee on his way up. Bounced around a couple different sites in his second year with the Mets. So here's Brett Beatty. Just made a great defensive play on Anthony Volpe there in the bottom of the second inning. No score, top 3. First pitch to Beatty. Lefty takes a breaking ball strike over the inside corner. 0-1. Brett hitting at 230, 5 homers and 11 RBIs. It's Beatty and then Tyrone Taylor, who's on deck. Brought to you by TimberTech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit timbertech.com. 0-1. Missed off the plate with an 84-mile-an-hour sweeper. That's 1 ball and 1 strike. For Beatty, of course, the power has really been there. He is still in the infancy of this great power surge that he's on. Trying to establish more consistent production. 1-1, swing and a miss at an elevated cutter. And it's 1-2. Now Beatty's slugging 500. That's a beautiful number. Of course, you'd love it to be even higher than that, but 500 is pretty good. Takes his time here, but his on base is 260. I've told you a lot that Beatty has found himself behind in counts. 0-2. Right here he's 1-2 very quickly. Not really enough time to work your way on base with any walks. Schmidt's 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. 95 up from Clark Schmidt, who fans Brett Beatty for his 3rd strikeout. So 8 in a row retired by Schmidt to start the game. It'll bring up Tyrone Taylor. And now's the perfect time to get a Peerless Boiler. Don't wait. Go to peerlessboilers.com for more info. and an installer near you. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers. No score, top 3 in the Bronx. Taylor, a right-handed hitter. Schmidt winds and deals. Pitch pop foul over the first base dugout. Make the seats for strike 1. Tyrone hitting at .231 for the year, but against the Yankees, especially last year, all told, as a major leaguer, 13 for 33. That's almost 400 head-to-head against the Yankees. Nobody on base here in this third inning. The 0-1. Hit sharply towards second base. Caught by LeMahieu, leaning to his left. It tailed off the bat and brought LeMahieu over toward first base, and he made the catch to retire the side. So Schmidt.
Well, this is a World Series card. Everybody said, you know, what's it going to be to pitch against Sandy Koufax, who's a dominant pitcher. I said, I hope I don't embarrass myself. And I didn't. You know, pitched my first shutout ever. We won 6-0, and my parents were there. My mom was afraid of heights, so she was in the upper deck. She had to come down and trade seats with somebody so she could actually watch her 20-year-old son pitch a shutout in the World Series.
Facing in the Bronx, Mets and Yankees scoreless. Griffin Canning facing J.C. Escar, DJ LeMahieu, and Jorbit Bibas. 7-8-9 for the Bronx Bombers. First pitch to lefty Escara. Swing and a miss at a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. 0-1. So if you're just joining us on this Saturday, Clark Schmidt 9 up and 9 down on his end. 6 up and 6 down for Griffin Canning on his side. And infield behind him is around to the right. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Escara takes strike 2, another fastball. It's 0-2 on Escara, who is a 30-year-old rookie. He's actually 29 when the year started, turned 30 in late April. 7 for 35 in 15 major league games. Big open stance from that left side. 0-2. Tap weakly towards second base. Here comes McNeil. Gloves with 2 hands and throws to first in time to retire Escara for the first out. As we come to you live from the Bigelow Tea broadcast booth. Bigelow Tea, grab a mug and tea proudly. And with the traffic last night and the early turnaround today, I don't want to know how many cups of Bigelow Tea you had, Howie, but I would imagine it was a couple.
Well, we measure it in gallons rather than cups.
Today is the day for that, no doubt about it. Here's DJ LeMahieu in year 15 as a major leaguer, 7 with the Yankees. First one from Canning. Tops the outside corner, 94th and knees. And Canning ahead, 0-1 in this scoreless game. Bottom 3. And LeMahieu has again been here for a while, has had a lot of great moments, but none of the last few years. He's been so hurt for this team. 0-1. Lined in the air toward right field and deep. Soto going back. He turns and looks, and this one is off the top of the wall and gone. It is off the front row of seats and then gone. A Yankee Stadium home run, opposite field shot for DJ LeMahieu. And in the bottom of the third inning, the Yankees have a 1-0 lead. The Mets thought about looking at it. John Gibbons was on the phone because this thing bounced back onto the field and hit something. It turns out it hit those seats in the front row. You don't really get that kind of home run anywhere else.
Now both teams have an opportunity to go that way and take advantage, and DJ LeMahieu just did with a pop fly home run.
Here is the lefty Jorbit Bibas. 1-0 Yankees now. It's the first home run of the series. Pitch. That's lined towards short, right at Lindor, who makes the hat-high catch for the second out. And this series, I know the Yankees won 6-2 last night, but if you were with us last night, it wasn't 6 runs on 4 home runs, a ton of power. There was a whole lot of walks, some infield hits, and some errors. It was a little bit of a sloppy 6 runs that the Mets gave to the Yankees. But here, that is the 77th home run the Yankees have hit. That's the most in baseball against the team, the Mets, that has given up the fewest home runs. That's number 29. Here's Ben Rice, a left-hand hitter. First pitch from Canning is a strike on the inside corner at 95 miles an hour. 1-0 Yankees on LeMahieu's first of the year. This is just his third game back. A late start due to another injury. Here's the 0-1 from Canning. Strike 2, outside edge. And Rice behind in this at bat where he flew out to center in the first. And he'll take his time here. Scoreboard update sponsored by Nissan. Kickstart your summer with Nissan. These offers are going fast at the Nissan Summer Sales Event. Shop your local Nissan store at nissanusa.com. A lot of games coming up later. Did you hear Baltimore fired their manager, Brandon Hyde, earlier today? So he's out after the Orioles are 15-28. 0-2. Missed down low with a changeup. That's a ball and 2 strikes. Pirates visit the Phillies. Phillies woke up this morning a game and a half back of the Mets. Zach Wheeler pitching for Philly tonight against Pittsburgh's Carmen McGinsky. Canning working with 2 outs and 2 strikes. Pitch to Rice. Swinging a bouncing ball toward the middle. Base hit going into center field. It was right between McNeil and the second base bag. Taylor picks it up in center and tosses in. So second hit giving up by Canning. It'll bring up Aaron Judge. Rivalry series this weekend. Mets Yankees, mentioned Pirates and Phillies, the Battle of Pennsylvania. And of course, the Battle of Chicago. White Sox and Cubs continue their series. Sean Burke for the White Sox and Matthew Boyd for the Cubbies. So here's Aaron Judge batting with somebody on base. Always dangerous to face him. Certainly more dangerous with a runner on. Canning set. First pitch. In the dirt. Bounces up there. Blocked by Terrence for ball 1. Judge flew out to right his first time, and again, in this place, anything up in the air, especially to right field, you think may have a chance, but it was a lazy fly caught by Juan Soto. And Juan was, of course, hit with a mess of booze that followed that catch. Canning ready with the 1-0 pitch to Judge. Here it is. Swing and a miss and a slider, biting down and away. And that's 1 ball and 1 strike. The Judge walked into this game today with a .500 on-base percentage. He's been at the plate 200 times. He's gotten on 100 times. Insane. 1-1. Strike on the outside corner, a fastball, and it's 1-2.
His OPS is 169 points better than his closest pursuer.
There's a lot of that in his batting average, in his on-base, slugging. Runner at first, 1-0 Yankees. The 1-2 bounces up there, slider away. That's 2 balls and 2 strikes. The one that I saw that struck out to me was mentioned all the categories with the separation. Came into play with 70 hits, the most in baseball. The next closest is Paul Goldschmidt with 58. Far and away, playing like a man amongst boys this year. He can make this game 3-0 with 1 bad pitch. Canning trying to strike him out though and keep it 1-0. Runner at first, 2 outs. Canning's 2-2. Swing and a miss. Griffin Canning strikes out Judge with a slider, and that retires the side. But DJ LeMahieu out to right field. A home run that travels 333 feet. And the Yankees.
To see all this excitement around what I love to do growing up, it's crazy.
What's your favorite thing about this whole event so far?
The fusion of sports, entertainment, and cards. Because to me, cards have always been entertainment, and they're getting their just dessert now.
Prospectus contains expenses. Visit Invesco.com for a prospectus containing this information. Read it carefully before investing. Invesco is not affiliated with the New York Mets. Invesco Distributors, Inc.
Let's get moving with Centers Healthcare.
Centers Healthcare has a different approach to care. Here, you rehab, relax, recover, and go home. Our state-of-the-art technology empowers your rehab journey with us. Healing from surgery now comes with amenities like Starbucks, smart TVs, and personalized recreation. At Centers Healthcare, what matters most is getting you back to the life you had. Visit centershealthcare.com today or call us at 800-305-9151. Centers Healthcare. We're not just care. We are care that moves you.
What have we learned from baseball? Nothing ever goes according to plan. Accidents happen when you least expect them. If you've been injured, visit the Rothenberg Law Firm at injurylawyer.com.
Back at Yankee Stadium, 1-0 Yankees as we go to the top of the 4th inning with Howie Rose. My name is Keith Rad. Middle game of this 3-game series. Mets trying to even things up. They lost last night. Remember, they lost that finale to Pittsburgh on Wednesday, so they dropped 2 straight. Here's Lindor, switch hitter batting left, leading off. First pitch from Clark Schmidt slips out of his hand, missing for ball 1. Lindor, Soto, and Alonso. Second time through against Clark Schmidt, who has been perfect over his first 3 innings with 3 strikeouts. Outfield is deep. There's the windup and the 1-0. High and outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Top of the 4th, sponsored by Cars for Kids. 877 Cars for Kids. That's cars with a K. To donate your car today. Bebos, the third baseman, is playing in. Everybody else back and around to the right. Here's the 2-0 to Lindor. This is outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Now, Mets last night held to just 2 runs. They scored 1 late. Lindor had an RBI double in the 9th inning, but it was just a little too late for the Mets, who felt like they chased way too much last night. Here's a 3-0. It's outside. A 4-pitch walk snaps what was a perfect start for Clark Schmidt. And so the Mets all of a sudden have the tying run on. And here's Juan Soto, greeted by these lovable Yankee fans. You know, the funny thing is how upset they are. You know they want it back tomorrow, right? That's exactly how they feel here in the Bronx. I guess that's love for you, right? It breaks your heart. Well, the guy wearing blue and orange digs in from the left side. 1-0 Yankees. Schmidt deals. Pitch is outside. That's 5 in a row that have missed here from Schmidt. It's ball 1 to Soto.
Not sure they had him long enough to love him.
These days, they swipe right. He swiped right for 1 year. A year is long enough. 1-0 on him. Schmidt fires. And pitch ripped toward right field. Base hit for Soto. Lindor gets to second base and stops as Judge fires it in. Well, Soto hit it off the end of the bat and looped over the second baseman, LeMahieu. And so Soto has his first hit of the series. He was 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. He was on 3 times yesterday, but all 3 were walks. And so now here come the Mets and Pete Alonso. Pace of the game brought to you by Optimum Fiber. Don't take slow for an answer. And a game that features just 1 walk so far. We've loved this pace. The Yankees have a 1-0 lead, but the Mets have their first chance of the afternoon against Schmidt. Second time through the lineup. Lindor at second, Soto at first. Here's Pete, who grounded out to short his first time. First pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball right there for Alonso, and it's 0-1. Now Pete right now going through it a little bit. His batting average has dipped to .301, which anyone would kill for .301, but Pete was hitting .350 for that month of April. Come back down to earth here mid-May. An inside move and a look back to second base. No throw, but Lindor back in standing.
He's got it done in these spots, though. .357 with men in scoring position for a Mets club that too often has had long stretches in games where they couldn't buy a hit in these spots.
Runners bouncing off first and second. Schmidt's 0-1. That's the line toward left field. Dominguez can't make the play. It drops feet in front of him. Lindor scores from second base as the throw is cut off. RBI single to left for Alonso to tie the game. Soto up to second. It is 1-1 in the top of the 4th. A line drive toward Dominguez in left field. And he took maybe a step or 2 in and over toward that third baseline. And it dropped in. So here is Brandon Nimmo, and now the Yankee infield will come together. Nimmo, the cleanup hitter, brought to you by Roto-Rooter. Plumbing and water cleanup. Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain.
A different story so far, although it's only 3 batters. The second time through for Clark Schmidt after getting the Mets in order in each of the first 3 innings. A walk and 2 singles have written a much different story the second time around.
So Mets are on the board, scoring their first run of the game, sponsored by Slomin's. Call or visit Slomin's.com to schedule a free estimate on a new central AC system. Slomin's, the difference is human. So a scorcher by Alonso to drive in his 37th run. He's tied with Seiya Suzuki of the Cubs for second in the National League. And this is how we told you, Wilmer Flores sitting up top with 41 RBIs for the Giants. Now more meat on the bone for the Mets. First and second, nobody out. Pitch. Nimmo takes a knee-high fastball for strike 1. By the way, just to give you an idea about the Dominguez ball, the catch probability, if you're into that thing, 65%. So certainly a solid enough chance to try to make a catch, but didn't. The 0-1 bounces up there, blocked by Escara. That's 1 ball and 1 strike.
I think, Keith, the way Dominguez began to approach that ball, he was very tentative, knowing he had no safety net behind him. And if he was going to leave his feet and miss it, the chances are 2 runs would have scored. So even though he didn't have seemingly a clear mind as to what he was going to do initially, he actually made the safe play with nobody out.
Soto's at second, Alonso at first. 1-1 on Nimmo. Schmidt's pitch. Chopped weakly up the first baseline, dribbled foul all the way out toward Antoine Richardson. The first base coaching box turns and finds a Yankee fan to throw that ball to in the crowd. The 1-2 on Nimmo.
See, I don't know, Keith, how they arrive at the 65%, because off the bat, I thought it was going to take an outstanding play if Dominguez was going to catch the ball. Now they're factoring in the jump, and I said he was hesitant and tentative at the start, but I'm curious how they arrive at a specific number.
Nimmo calls for his time.
It's like how do you quantify something that visually and to the naked eye seems virtually impossible to quantify?
But it's funny, you interpret it as a tougher play. I thought he was going to make at least a play on the ball in left field. But dropped in. 1-1 game in the fourth. 2 on, nobody out. 1-2 on Nimmo. Pitch. Strike 3 called inside corner. James Jean rings him up on a knuckle curve that might have just caught the edge. Nimmo strikes out for the first out of the 4th inning. Pretty good looking pitch that froze Nimmo, and Escara framed it on the inside corner. Here's Mark Vientos, and really there have been times for both Nimmo and Vientos, even back to the opening series of the season down in Houston, where you felt like the Mets will have the table set a lot of times this year, with Soto getting on as much as he does and Alonso about to have a great year, and forcing Nimmo and Vientos to drive some runs in. Mark, a right-hand hitter. Soto bounces and breaks for third. Pitch taken inside. No throw. Soto slides into third with a stolen base. Another good read by Soto. And now it's first and third for the Mets with 1 out. Clark Schmidt came set and just didn't even look back towards second base.
Is that the 3rd time Soto's done that in the last 4 or 5 games? I believe so. He did it last night. And I think he did it against Mitch Keller when the Mets were playing the Pirates earlier in the week at Citi Field.
Antoine Richardson has been a big help with that, trying to improve his base running. First and third, 1 out, the 1-0. That's cracked high in the sky toward left, toward the line. Dominguez over to the corner, reaches up, makes the catch, crashes into the wall. Soto tags and scores from third base. Alonso up to second. Sacrifice fly, RBI, and the lead. Mark Vientos' fly ball to left makes it 2-1 Mets in the top of the 4th.
And full mark, sorry, Keith, to Juan Soto. That stolen base is what really was the catalytic agent to getting that run home. Getting to third base with 1 out where you can score on an out. It's not a great gamble to take with nobody out or 2 out. 1 out is the perfect time to do it, and it paid off.
Now that ball took Dominguez to the center of the track. He made the catch and then raced himself into that wall down the left field line. And here's McNeil, 2 outs, runner at second. First pitch darts off the plate for ball 1. You talk about right field here, 314, and sometimes it's unfair, the balls that go out to right, but people forget left is only 318 out there. And so Dominguez made that catch right up against the wall. Vientos thought he hit it enough, just missed it. 1-0. Fouled straight down, and it's 1-1 on McNeil.
Remember Russell Martin, the former Dodger and Yankee catcher? He hit a couple of home runs, as I recall, in one game here as a Yankee against the Mets that, plopped into the first or second row right in that left field corner. So you're right. Right field gets all the attention, but, left field, they can break a pitcher's heart too.
So they're going to call a pitch clock violation on Clark Schmidt. I don't know if it's a violation as much as the eye contact was an issue. Sometimes if a pitcher comes set before a batter makes eye contact, the umpire will give him a warning. Here they have charged ball 2 to Clark Schmidt. So it's 2-1 on McNeil, and only, again, 2 pitches have been thrown. So an advantage for McNeil, trying to bring in Alonso from second base. Mets in front, 2-1 in the 4th. Schmidt's pitch, way outside, ball 3.
Now, don't you think that's where the umpire should be given the opportunity to just hit his little button that turns on his microphone and just announce to the crowd, pitch clock violation because A, B, or C?
Nobody in this ballpark knew it.
Right. Exactly.
So true. 3-1 on McNeil. Sits low in that stance. Pitch, high and outside, another Schmidt walk. So the second one of the inning. And it continues now with Luis Torrens coming up, and here comes the Yankee pitching coach, Matt Blake. Now, before the year, MLB usually has a conversation with its broadcast partners to talk about rule changes and things that they're seeing, and there was a big deal about obstruction last year and this year with the ABS system. And at the end of that presentation, now most people were probably daydreaming, but I was taking my notes meticulously. MLB said this year we want the umpires to be more vocal with what's going on now that there's so many things that are happening. You've got mound visits and this and that and the challenges. And, of course, the umpires will tell us when a challenge is happening and what the play is overturned or stand. But I thought maybe we'd hear more from these umpires this year. That's what at least I was told.
They should. I think the only time we've heard from them, unless I'm missing something or forgetting something, is, as you suggested, on official challenges or crew chief reviews.
I mean, in the NFL, those referees become stars, right? You know their name. I remember those big Ed Hockley biceps on that tight shirt. At least they let you know what was going on sometimes.
We're charging the pitcher with ball 1 for giving him the business.
That was a great, what was that, a college game? I think I saw that.
That was the best.
2-1 Mets, 2-on-2 out, top of the 4th inning. Schmidt facing Torrens. First pitch, righty to righty. Misses outside, a sweeper. It's ball 1. Torrens flew out to right his last time. That was a ball that, again, to right field in this ballpark, took Judge to the center of the track, and he walked forward to make the catch on a lazy fly ball to right. Alonso at second, McNeil at first. Runners lead. A spin and a throw to second base. Alonso dives in safely on what turned out to be a bang-bang play. LeMahieu cutting in. And now LeMahieu's hopping up and down at second base, either out of frustration that he missed that play, or you hope he didn't hurt anything, because LeMahieu's been so hurt the last few years. I think the throw from Schmidt, had it been right at the base of the bag on the dirt, they would have had him. But it's 1-0 on Torrens. Schmidt ready, holds the set. Here comes. Outside, missed the fastball, 2-0.
LeMahieu just had to kind of hook his glove around the bag. By the time he was able to get the glove down on Alonso, it was too late. LeMahieu, a tremendous defender, though, as we mentioned, the former Gold Glove winner.
Going to keep Alonso close at second. The 2-0. There's a strike down the middle with 93 from Schmidt, and it's 2-1. Schmidt up to 48 pitches. Remember, he was 9 up and 9 down to start the game. Torrens is the 7th batter of the inning to hit against him. Schmidt set, 2 outs, 2 on, 2-1 on Torrens. Next toss, bends away, 3 balls and 1 strike. Now Schmidt coming into today, Carlos Mendoza has kind of given us the scouting report. Well, against righties, he's gotten 2 pitches. Against lefties, he's gotten 2 pitches. And usually when you only have that many pitches, you can only go through a lineup and be surprising so many times. So second time through, the Mets are seeing him. 3-1. Torrens swings through a fastball, and it's 3-2. They just showed that Schmidt, that was his 22nd pitch of the inning. So a full count on Torrens. That'll start up Alonso from second and McNeil at first. Mets have taken a 2-1 lead in this 4th inning. Goldschmidt shaking his head at the signs in his ear. And now comes set. Runners lead. There they go. 3-2 pitch. High and in. He's walked another one. And the Mets have the bases loaded. Terren's on, McNeil to second, and Alonso to third. Nobody up in that Yankee bullpen yet. But here comes Brett Beatty, and we'll pause 10 seconds. Station ID.
This is Odyssey Mets Radio on WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
At Yankee Stadium with Howie Rose, my name is Keith Pratt. Bases loaded, top of the fourth, 2-1 Mets. Pitch to Beatty. Swinging a fly ball to right field. Judge moving back, turned around, backpedaling, makes the catch, the center of the track in front of that right field wall. A line drive by Beatty, caught on the track. Mets send 8 to the plate.
Biggest thing we're bringing is a brand new Tony Gwynn drop I did with his estate. So we just signed a deal at therealist.com to actually go through his entire archives, present them, and auction them off. And to announce it, we did this limited edition 1994 The Lost Season card. Because, you know, between August of 93 and May of 95, Tony Gwynn batted .406 in 162 games. So in the back, we have the stats of what could have been.
The Guaranteed Lower gets largest discount tire dealer because we give you the guaranteed lowest price and we honor every manufacturer's rebate. We even honor all our competitors' rebates. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire. Hey, healthcare workers of New York, are you looking to make a difference? Margaret Teets Nursing and Rehabilitation Center is actively hiring nurses and CNAs. Call 718-298-7800. That's 718-298-7800.
The bottom of the fourth inning is brought to you by Route 4 Hyundai in Paramus, New Jersey. And as we go to the bottom of the fourth, the Yankees and Mets play game 2. It is the Mets who have a 2-1 lead. For the Yankees in the inning, Bellinger, Goldschmidt, and Dominguez against Griffin Canning, who has been given some new life. Canning was excellent to start the game, retired the first 7 before DJ LeMahieu hit a ball into the first row for a solo home run. First pitch to the lefty, Bellinger. Here's a high breaking ball missing for ball 1. Bellinger on an 11-game hitting streak. Struck out his first time, one of 2 Canning strikeouts. The windup, slow windup from Canning, and the 1-0. Missed low and in, pretty close pitch, but it's ball 2. Now Cody Bellinger, Mets have seen him plenty, right? Dodgers, Cubs, first year with the Yankees. His dad was a former Yankee, Clay Bellinger. Here comes the 2-0 from Canning. Little bit low, 3 balls and no strikes. Now Clay played with the Yankees and played against the Mets in that 2000 Subway Series and robbed Todd Zeile of a home run, you might remember, in Game 2. Here's a 3-0 pitch to Cody Bellinger, swinging, and he fouls it back, making it 3-1. Clay Bellinger was on that Yankee team, and then in 2002 was on the Angels. That team won the World Series as well. Didn't really have much of a role to play on that team, but we the swing of things here with Bellinger. The infield back around to the right. Canning slowly turns those white cleats. Here's the payoff. And it's grounded foul outside of third. Bellinger a protective swing, banging it down the other way. Bellinger will turn 30 years old in mid-July. He's already been around for a while. This is his 9th major league season. Won a World Series with the Dodgers in that COVID season of 2020. Signed a couple of free agent deals with the Cubs in Chicago. One of the replacements for Juan Soto after he came to the Mets. Another payoff from Canning. This one's lifted in the air to right, not deep. Soto eyes to the sky, raises his glove to tell Taylor he's going to make the catch, and he does for the first out. 2-1 lead. And so he'd love to silence these bats, but he's got to get through Goldschmidt and Dominguez. And hey guys, no matter what side of the bridge you're on, you can make a difference. And up to $2,400 a month as a sperm donor with California Cryobank. Go to spermbank.com to learn more. First pitch to the righty, Paul Goldschmidt. Misses inside, a slider that pushes him off the plate for ball 1. Mets much more straight up against Goldschmidt, who even yesterday showed why he is hitting right around 350, hitting the ball everywhere. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball's in for a strike, 1-1. And Howie talked about his prowess with men in scoring position. Yesterday, when the bases were loaded in that 3rd inning, he hit the ground ball up the middle that Lindor would eventually throw wildly toward first base. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball in for a strike, and it's 1-2. So bases loaded, he hits the ground ball. Okay, 1 run is going to score. Lindor threw the ball low. It bounced away from Alonso. A 2nd run came in, and all Goldschmidt did was put the ball in play. Doesn't have to be a hard 350. The 1-2 misses down and away. Knuckle curve there from Canning. That's 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Yankee lineup, even outside of Aaron Judge. 1st in homers, 1st in OPS, 2nd in runs. 2-2. Tap foul down the 3rd base line. That stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Goldschmidt at 37 years old. Talk about him being revitalized. It's almost much more respected to see what he has done this year, where everybody thought he was finished. St. Louis basically thought he was finished. They could have brought him back, decided not to. He's been great with the Yankees. 2-2. Grounded foul off of Terrence. Saw a long battle here with Goldschmidt and Canning. It is 2-1 Mets. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bases clear, 1 out on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in the Bronx. Canning turns his feet, leans back. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him with a slider, eating him up on the inside corner. That's the 3rd strikeout for Canning, the 2nd out in this 4th inning. If you look up above the facade, you see all those flags. We talked about how they're whipping from right to left, but the way that the ballpark is built, it almost feels like it doesn't matter with us down here on Earth and the flags blowing all the way up top. Here's Dominguez batting left. First pitch. Breaking ball in for a strike, 0-1.
If you look at pictures of the original Yankee Stadium before they remodeled it, when they had the classic frieze at the very top of the upper deck, that was much lower, that upper deck, than it is here.
0-1 from Canning. All the way to the backstop, waking up somebody in that front row. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
The roof here is way higher than it was at the original stadium.
Got the lower deck and the 2nd deck, then the suite level, then what looks like the 3rd deck, but is that the 4th deck now? Because you can't go from that deck all the way to the last one, so there's almost a 5th deck all the way up there in right field and in left field, wrapping around the foul poles. The 1-1. Dominguez grounds it foul to the on-deck circle, grabbed by Anthony Volpe. That's 1-2.
You know, Al Troutwig, may he rest in peace, used to say, could you imagine being in the meeting when somebody said, yeah, it'd be a good idea to take that frieze or facade off and just, you know, throw it out in the outfield the way they did.
1-2 pitches hit hard and through the right side. A base hit between McNeil and the second base bag into right center. Soto gets to it quickly and fires in, holding Dominguez to a 2-out, 2-strike single in the 4th.
You know, when they were redesigning the refurbished Yankee Stadium in the mid-70s, yeah, they decided to take what we've always called the facade, take it off, just put the lights all the way around the circumference of the ballpark, and just replicate that frieze or facade in the outfield above the bleachers, which is what they did. Yes, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
There's Volpe batting right-handed. Pitch. Misses outside with ball 1. I think I've heard of the word freeze.
F-R-I-E-Z-E. We always called it the facade. Mickey Mantle hit a couple of balls off the facade.
1-0 on Volpe. 2-1 Mets in the 4th. Canning set with a runner at first. Deals home. Pitch misses high and away. 2 balls and no strikes. I believe I learned something new today that, you know, us 90s babies grew up just calling it the facade because maybe freeze is a little.
Us 1890s babies did too. We 1890s babies, if you want to be grammatically correct, if not factually.
The 2-0 pitch is grounded weakly to the left side. Beatty cuts in front of the shortstop, fields and fires on the run in time. Now Beatty 2, Volpe nothing. Anthony Volpe's had Brett Beatty throw him out on a couple nice plays charging in, and we're done with 4.
Let's see if you can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is Oppo Taco. Do you know what it means? Oppo Taco, a home run hit to the opposite field.
Austin Hayes with an Oppo Taco. His 13th, and it's a 1-run game.
Expand your vocabulary by listening to every game on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager said the following.
I really don't know what to say. I'm just so happy I gave something these people cheer. We all did. I mean, it was a great game. Both teams played incredible. It was a great game.
That's Mike Piazza after he hit an 8th-inning go-ahead home run in the first New York Mets home game after 9/11. Hear moments like this and more on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Your day in baseball starts with MLB Central.
Let's get it started.
Lead off your morning with in-depth breakdowns.
Perfect balance. What? Boom.
Interviews with the players.
Get back to the fastball. I know what that passion feels like.
And a little bit.
Keeping.
You behave properly.
Hey.
Of everything else.
Come on, Marlins.
The window seats are.
The baseball day begins with MLB Central. Weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. Only on MLB Network.
If you're not watching this show, you're the problem.
Monroe Shock Struts. Monroe Shocks and Struts are available at Parts Authority Auto Parts Superstores, where the answer is yes.
5th inning is next here in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium, where the Mets have a 2-1 lead. Howie?
Against a Clark Schmidt who was struggling during that 4th inning, a laborious inning where he faced 8 batters, gave up 2 runs, but left the bases loaded. So Tyrone Taylor leads off the 5th. And the first pitch by Schmidt is in for a called strike. A cutter, 0-1. Brett Beatty sounded like he cracked his bat and still almost hit it out on the first pitch of his plate appearance with the bases loaded to end the top of the 4th inning. The 0-1 on the way. Breaking ball, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike on Taylor with Lindor and Soto to follow here in this 5th inning, which is sponsored by Elec 825, building our future. And that was the plate appearance that really has Schmidt back on, firm footing. The 1-1 on the way, foul back to the screen, a fastball. Taylor put a good cut on it. And the count 1-2. Taylor lined out to second, his first time up. Clark Schmidt's making his 6th outing of the year. He started the year on the IL because he had some rotator cuff tendonitis, and he's had his share of arm problems over the course of his career. The 1-2 on the way. Breaking ball in there, strike 3 called. So, that knuckle curve of Clark Schmidt picks up the first out, his 5th strikeout. And we go back to the top of the order now, and Francisco Lindor. But Schmidt was a first-round draft pick out of the University of South Carolina 8 years ago. And even before the draft, he had Tommy John surgery. And he was seen as maybe even a top 5 pick before that. First pitch to Lindor, a sweeper in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. But the Yankees signed him anyway with a 16th pick. It was for below slot, but he still got over $2 million. But, again, he had not only the Tommy John right around the draft, the 0-1 on the way, pulled on the ground to first. Goldschmidt behind the bag has it. He'll take it there himself, and there are 2 men away. But then last year, he missed time with a lat strain and spent a lot of time on the IL. Back then, he was a teammate of Juan Soto's. Now he's going to face him. And he didn't need Bob Shepard to tell you who was coming into the batter's box. Number 22, Juan Soto. Right field, number 22. stately gentleman, the legendary former PA announcer of the Yankees, Bob Shepard was. First pitch on the way to Soto, a breaking ball, low, ball one. Bob Shepard for so many years not only was the PA announcer here, he taught a speech class at St. John's University. Could you imagine being in Bob Shepard's class? Your assignment today.
How can you pay attention to anything he says?
You couldn't. I wouldn't. 1-0 to Soto, taken down and in, ball two.
I heard when he was here doing games, he'd be doing a crossword puzzle and he'd look up and this guy's up, and he'd go back to his crossword puzzle.
I saw it. He had a little booth in the press box at the old stadium. Only one time did I hear him fluster, actually twice. 2-0 to Soto, swing and a miss at a fastball, 2-1. The Yankees had called up an infielder by the name of George Zieber, and he was brought up just before the game, and I guess they didn't tell Shepard what his first name was. And Shepard says, batting for so-and-so, number 25. He's got no first name. He goes, Zieber. Like Montana, Cher. Swing and a miss by Soto at a fastball, and it's 2-2. Mets leading 2-1, 2 out, nobody on here in the fifth inning. Soto batting in the meat of the order, presented by the Chef IQ Sense cooking thermometer that pairs with your phone and ensures you never overcook or undercook your chicken, fish, or meat. Again, buy one at chefiq.com. 2-2 to Soto. Now Schmidt deals. Breaking ball just missed, but try convincing some of these fans of that. Pitch a little bit low. Soto shaking his head in the batter's box, thinking, come on, are you kidding me? And even turns and says something to the catcher, J.C. Escaro. So full count now to Soto. He's certainly familiar with that. Pete Alonso waiting on deck. The payoff pitch. Breaking ball low, ball four. So Soto, who walked 3 times last night, walks here. That's the 4th walk allowed by Schmidt. And it'll bring up Alonso, who's got an RBI single in 2 trips. The injury update brought to you by the Rothenberg Law Firm. If you're injured in an accident, the game plan is simple. Just go to injurylawyer.com. Paul Blackburn not very far away now, and it might be that when the Mets are back home after the rest of this road trip, which continues in Boston, you'll see Blackburn. Alonso takes outside for ball one. Mets are going to play the Red Sox at Fenway Park. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Day off Thursday. Come home, the Dodgers next weekend. Here's the 1-0. Alonso takes a called strike. Cutter, and it's 1-1 to Pete.
It's going to be a madhouse at Citi Field that weekend.
Hey, speaking of the Dodgers, we're talking about this rivalry weekend. Well, the Dodgers are playing the Angels in the Freeway Series this weekend in L.A. Clayton Kershaw returns for the Dodgers tonight. 1-1 pitch. Alonso pops it foul straight back into the second deck. Just to the right of home plate, and it's 1-2. So good luck to the 37-year-old future lead pipe cinch Hall of Famer, the great left-hander Clayton Kershaw, who returns tonight.
Speaking of lefties, Yankees have lefty Tim Hill getting loose in that bullpen.
Who will never be mistaken for Clayton Kershaw, but that's not his fault. Few would. 1-2. Schmidt holds the set, now throws to first, and Soto back standing. Remember now, Soto has tiptoed his way into a few stolen bases over the last week. One last night. That was in the first inning against Carlos Rodon. Last time up, he helped build a run. 1-2. Schmidt ready. Now the pitch. Swing on a liner to left field. Dominguez coming in, makes the catch shoulder high, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, a walk, one left, middle of the fifth. It's the Mets 2 and the Yankees 1 on Odyssey Mets Radio.
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager said the following.
I really don't know what to say. I'm just so happy I gave something these people cheer. We all did. I mean, it was a great game. Both teams played incredible. It was a great game.
That's Mike Piazza after he hit an 8th inning go-ahead home run in the first New York Mets home game after 9/11. Hear moments like this and more on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Every game night is a chance to go big with MLB Big Inning. Turn on baseball's only nightly show that brings you the biggest plays of the night, live and commercial-free. Strikes him out. No one stacks more clutch plays into one live show with up to 4 games on a single screen.
Out of here! He is on fire. It's a walk-off winner.
Change up game night with baseball's biggest game changer, MLB Big Inning, presented by Ram Trucks. Every night, all season long on MLB.tv.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since 1921.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard. Go crazy.
Catch the next unforgettable call on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Let's see if you can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is Oppo Taco. Do you know what it means? Oppo Taco, a home run hit to the opposite field.
Austin Hayes with an Oppo Taco. His 13th, and it's a 1-run game.
Expand your vocabulary by listening to every game on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Beginning with the catcher, J.C. Escara. 8 for 36 of the plate this year. Left-hand batter, Griffin Canning deals. And a fastball over at the knees for a called strike one. Escara grounded to second his first time up. This kid from Hialeah, Florida. Played collegiately at Florida International University. The 0-1 breaking ball down and in, but he goes around. Wow. Yeah, didn't look like it from up here to me. Did it to you?
No, not at all.
That was on appeal to third base ump Todd Titchener. Talking about who's got dinner plans tonight. Titchener might be one of them. As he called strike 2, and it's 0-2 to Escara. LeMahieu on deck, and then Bibas. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The slider. Escara just 2 years ago was playing independent league ball and in the Mexican League. So he's doing what Luis Torrens, you figure, really should be doing, right? Here's the 1-2. Foul back to the screen. Remember, the Yankees let Torrens go last year. The Mets picked him up for $100,000. And you think the Yankees wouldn't mind having Luis Torrens now? And that's not to take a knock at J.C. Escara by any stretch of the imagination, but Torrens has certainly been reliable for the Mets. 1-2 pitch, fastball high to Escara. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Remember the Soto trade to get Soto to the Yankees. The Yankees shipped out Kyle Higashioka to the Padres. He's a nice little catcher too.
Oh yeah, Higashioka, the home run stroker.
That's him.
2-2 pitch. Escara chops it foul up the first base line. What's our buddy John doing these days anyway, Mr. John Sterling? It's strange coming here to Yankee Stadium, not seeing John. I mean, we wouldn't until about an hour before the game anyway. John knew how to live, man. You get to a certain point, you say, I got this.
It'll be a 2-2.
It's on the way, and it's outside, full count. But our buddy Dave Sims, now working with Susan Waldman on the Yankee radio side. Dave just had a very happy return to Seattle to see a lot of people there. Worked with the Mariners for 18 years. Payoff pitch, low, ball 4, and Escara, who had been behind in the count 0-2, works out a leadoff walk. And it'll bring up DJ LeMahieu, who hit a pop fly home run to right field. His first time up.
Yankee Stadium home run, but for a right-handed hitter, 333 feet. Over a wall that felt like it was 332.5 feet away.
Right-handed hitters used to be robbed when what they used to call Death Valley in the original stadium was 457 to left center. Imagine that. Here's LeMahieu. First pitch, fastball outside, ball 1. I think Joe DiMaggio hit 361 home runs. You wonder how many more he would have hit. He was a right-hand hitter. And you wonder how many more he would have hit in a more, well, let's say, contemporary by our standards in the 21st century ballpark he could have played in.
The 1-0. Outside, ball 2, and suddenly Canning's lost the plate. He was ahead 0-2 on Escara. Lost him. Now it's 2-0 to LeMahieu.
That Met bullpen is quiet, and for good reason. Canning's at 69 pitches. He's been smooth sailing here, except for that LeMahieu home run. But 2 batters in a row here that make you wonder what's next.
So, 2-0. Now the pitch. Fastball just on the outside corner, a called strike. That's 95-mile-an-hour fastball, sponsored by Spectrum. A fast and reliable connection, making more things possible. Spectrum. Canning rests the glove on his chest. Now brings the hands together. Escara leads from first. The 2-1 to LeMahieu. Lined up the middle. Base hit going into center field and almost clipped the second base up. Nestor Ceja played in by Taylor. LeMahieu is 2 for 2, and the Yankees are open for business here in the bottom of the 5th. With the bottom of the order up, a walk to the number 7 hitter, a single to the number 8 hitter, and now the Mets will have to anticipate the bunt from your B-Boss, you would think.
Well, that's what Carlos Mendoza immediately showed that little hand signal, shaking out both wrists, pointing him out toward the infielders to let them know exactly that. You know, the Yankees, you always think all 9 guys can hit 50 home runs. It's not the case. So they've got their 9-man ready to try to move some runners over for Ben Rice and Aaron Judge, who are to follow.
Let's face it, Carlos Mendoza knows how Aaron Boone thinks. Carlos, formerly the bench coach for Aaron. So, they're tight at the corners. Back at short and second. Canning checks the runners. First pitch shows no bunt. Instead takes a strike, a changeup, and it's 0-1. So Rice, or at least Bibas, with Rice on deck, did not square. Looking down now at third base coach Luis Rojas, who flashes signs. So Beatty at third creeps up to the edge of the infield grass, and time called by Bibas. I wonder, he might have missed a sign.
That, or he knows he has to try to get a bunt down here on 1 pitch, right? Maybe he's going to square and he's behind 0-1. He only really have 1 pitch now that he could try to bunt on. A lot of pressure right now on him.
0-1 the count. Corners pinch, the pitch, full swing and a miss. A slider down and in, and it's 0-2. So Aaron Boone not bunting Bibas, who's now behind in the count. This is a kid that's not played much, just 5 for 28. So 0-2 the count. Now the pitch. A little bit low with a changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Just watching Jeff McNeil, he and Francisco Lindor are trying to communicate on who's going where on a ball hit somewhere in the infield. Basically coverage right now. You can tell there's a lot of communication right now for the Met infielders.
The outfield straightaway. 1-2 the count. Now Canning deals. Swinging a little looper towards left. It's slicing towards the line and foul, and finds the seats just behind the tarp. Listen to Meet at the Apple, the Mets official podcast presented by P.C. Richard & Son. Join hosts Vito Polisi and Jonathan Barron for exclusive access to the Mets, plus regular interviews with manager Carlos Mendoza. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and the Mets YouTube channel. 1-2 to Bibas, 2-1 Mets. Escara at second, LeMahieu at first. Nobody out, bottom 5. Canning to the belt. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The helmet comes off the head of Bibas, who took a big cut at the slider. Came up empty, and that's 1 out. And a big out in as much as he doesn't move the runners up, or at the very least get Escara to third where he can score on an out. So with 1 away, Ben Rice the batter. But this guy's got a lot of pop. He's got 9 home runs. Left-hand hitter. 4 strikeouts now for Canning, with Aaron Judge looming on deck. So both corner infielders who had been pinching in anticipation of a bunt drop back. And the first pitch to Rice, swing on a pop foul down the left field line, slicing out of play. 0-1 to the 26-year-old out of Dartmouth. Hit 3 home runs in a game last July against the Red Sox. So, told you, he's got lots of power. He's played first base. Also can catch. He's done that on occasion, but the DH today. 0-1 to him. Canning to the belt, checks the runners, the pitch. Swing on a pop fly to left field, moving back a couple of steps. Nimmo makes the catch on his heels, fires the ball back in, and there are 2 men away.
Now Jeremy Hefner is going to come out. There was a long conversation between Hefner and Mendoza. And what do you do now? This is a situation where you go, you're crazy to walk Judge to load the bases in a one-run game. But are you these days crazy to do something like that or think about doing that? So maybe Hefner's going out to take Canning's temperature on what to do right now. Because in a blink of an eye, this guy can hit a ball to give the Yankees the lead.
It's a dynamic we really haven't seen since Barry Bonds, right? I mean, Buck Showalter once walked Barry Bonds with the bases loaded when he was with Arizona.
And it worked, by the way.
Yeah, it worked. And took his chance because Brent Maine, a guy who had played for the Mets at one time in his career, ended up flying out for what I think was the last out of the game. So Buck made that work. Well, I don't think they're going to walk him here. I think the idea is, all right, how are we going to pitch him? We're going to pitch him carefully. What zones? They're just putting together as much potential scenario as they can so that everybody's on the same page. And again, it's a situation where, if you fall behind and you walk them, okay, you walk them, but they're not going to intentionally put them on. You try to make him go after a bad ball, but his plate coverage is so good, so much better than earlier in his career. So let's see. First and second, 2 out, 2-1 Mets in the fifth. First pitch, breaking ball, swung out and missed. 0-1. Started him with a slider down and away. Remember, Canning came at Judge with hard stuff in the first inning. Got ahead in the count, got him to fly out. Escar's at second, LeMahieu at first, 2 men away. Outfield deep and around towards right. The 0-1 up and in with a fastball, 1-1. 94, bending the head backwards, but you're not going to deter Aaron Judge with that. He doesn't even leave the batter's box. Taps the bat once across home plate. Now Canning sets. The 1-1 to Judge. Swing and a roller towards third. In to get it is Beatty. Throws on the run in time. Side retired. Good pitch by Canning as he jammed Aaron Judge. Gets him to roll out, and that leaves 2 aboard.
Every game night is a chance to go big with MLB Big Inning. Turn on baseball's only nightly show that brings you the biggest plays of the night, live and commercial-free.
Strikes him out.
No one stacks more clutch plays into one live show with up to 4 games on a single screen.
Out of here! He is on fire. It's a walk-off winner.
Change up game night with baseball's biggest game changer, MLB Big Inning, presented by Ram Trucks. Every night, all season long on MLB.tv.
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager said the following.
I really don't know what to say. I'm just so happy I gave something these people cheer. We all did. I mean, it was a great game. Both teams played incredible. It was a great game.
That's Mike Piazza after he hit an 8th inning go-ahead home run in the first New York Mets home game after 9/11. Hear moments like this and more on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Let's see if we can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is
Seatown Supermarkets, 50 years of beating New York, proudly supporting New York teams. Let's go Mets!
Want to be a real MVP? At California Cryobank, we're looking for some amazing guys to make a big difference. Help people's dreams of parenthood come true and earn up to $2,400 a month as a sperm donor. If you're 19 to 38, healthy, and can work in the U.S., learn more and find out if you qualify at spermbank.com. That's SPERMBANK.com for the chance to earn up to $2,400 a month as a sperm donor with California Cryobank, the #1 sperm bank in the world.
Sloman's is offering a free home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. We go to the 6th inning at Yankee Stadium and bookmark that last plate appearance. If the Mets hold on, maybe expand their lead, however they do, win this game, because that was a pivotal point potentially with Aaron Judge hitting 2 on, 2 out. Good job by not only Mets pitcher Griffin Canning, but also the plan from Mets pitching coach Jeremy Hefner. They got Judge to roll out, and so here's Brandon Nimmo to lead off the 6th. Clark Schmidt's first pitch, foul back to the screen, 0-1. You can make anything possible because you have a connection that's built for everywhere. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum. Nimmo is grounded to third and struck out. Vientos on deck, and then McNeil here in the 6th inning at Yankee Stadium. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Cutter that was up. And it's 0-2 to Brandon. It was 10 for his last 32. Remember, he had that big 9 RBI day. And then immediately missed a couple of games because he got sick when that bug was running around the Mets clubhouse. 0-2. Rides high. A cutter. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And it's only in the very recent past that seems to have worked its way through. 1-2 to Nimmo. Clark deals. Breaking ball down and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Mark Leiter Jr. is warming up in the Yankee bullpen. Schmidt's pitch count is fine, 72. This is the 3rd time through. It's a 1-run game. And so Leiter is there with that splitter. There's somebody soon here.
Schmidt wearing number 36. I'll tell you a little significance about that in a moment. Here's the 2-2. Swinging a pop-up foul down the third base side and out of play. That is the number that fella in the booth to our left wore during his Yankee days, the former Met David Cone. Always great catching up with Coney, who's become one of the best analysts in all of baseball. Very cerebral. Digests a lot of the analytics. 2-2. Taken high and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. I was talking to David before the game a little bit about how, pitchers have so much information now, and what are the challenges in processing it and not letting too much of it kind of clutter your mind, especially in a key point in the game. Here's payoff pitch. High, ball 4. Nimmo draws the leadoff walk, and we'll see if there's much more in this game for Clark Schmidt. Aaron Boone, as we mentioned, has Mark Leiter Jr. throwing in the bullpen. And Mark Vientos coming up here. But anyway, one of the things David was saying, apart from all the analytics stuff, and that's 5 walks now allowed by Schmidt, is that a good pitcher kind of knows himself without looking at the iPad and everything. Here's Vientos, first pitch taken down and away for ball 1. What he's doing wrong. When you're accomplished to a point and you've had some success at the big league level, you can kind of self-diagnose without having to get too caught up in all of the numbers. And you got enough on your mind when you're struggling. The 1-0 lifted in the air to right field, not too deep, although that could be redundant here. Over towards the sidewall. Judge, he runs out of room as he started to peel over that sidewall in pursuit, but the ball bounced into and then out of the crowd. So it's just a foul ball. And the count 1-1. I remember talking to Justin Verlander a couple of years ago when he was with the Mets that little bit of time, and he said when he's struggling with his mechanics, he knows exactly what he's doing wrong and how to sort of self-correct as well as self-diagnose. And David was saying most pitchers should be able to do that. 1-1 to Vientos. Now the pitch. Breaking ball chopped to third. Backing off on it is Bibas. Throws to second. 1. LeMahieu to first. Double play. 5-4-3. And that'll buy a little more time for Clark Schmidt, one would imagine. 2 out, nobody on now. Jeff McNeil, left-hand hitter, coming up.
You mentioned it with the 5 walks issued by Clark Schmidt. The Mets only have 2 runs. Given a leadoff walk here in the 6th, you'd love to do a little bit more with 5 walks. Yankees yesterday turned 5 McGill walks into 4 runs. So just a 2-1 Mets lead still into the 6th here.
So now it is McNeil who's grounded the second and drawn a walk. Base is empty now. And the first pitch. Swing and a foul back to the screen, 0-1. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the New York Mets and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Mets. 2-1 Mets. 2 out, nobody on, top 6. The 0-1 to McNeil. Missed the inside corner with a cutter. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Mark Leiter Jr. continues to throw in the Yankee bullpen. That's bullpen appears quiet. I mean, nobody's throwing. There could be some talking. The 1-1 taken to the knees for a called strike, a cutter, and it's 1-2.
So they're going to send Griffin Canning out for the 6th inning. The Mets would love to get Canning out for the 6th inning. He's been one of the good ones this year, giving the Mets little by little, a little more length.
It's on 1-2. Now the pitch. Breaking ball is low. 2-2 to McNeil, the number 6 hitter in the batting order, with Luis Torrens waiting on deck. Remember now, tomorrow's game has been moved to the evening. A 7:10 first pitch. A couple of lefties, David Peterson for the Mets, and Max Fried, the former Brave who has been sensational, will pitch for the Yankees. 2-2 pitch. McNeil bounces one along the first base line. That's foul. And going down the line. So 2-2 to Jeff McNeil.
I think Juan Soto signed with the Mets, and about 15 minutes later, the Yankees announced that they signed Max Fried. That was a pivot, knee-jerk reaction move, along with a couple more, getting Bellinger, getting Goldschmidt. But Fried, the ink was barely dry on that Soto tweet, at least from some of those big breaking news reporters.
2-2 pitch. McNeil takes high and away, ball 3.
It's kind of the perfect deal in a sense where Fried earned the money. The Mets would never sign anybody to that kind of deal on the pitching side, and Fried so far is off to a great start. The question always will be, what does year 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 look like on those? But that's down the road.
And even with Fried, can he stay healthy in the short term? As that's been an occasional issue for him. So 3-2 to McNeil. Outfield straight up. Schmidt's payoff pitch. Foul straight back. Evidently a fan made an outstanding play.
So one time you're going to see both Yankee and Met fans rejoice for the same thing equally. A good play.
So 3-2 to Jeff. Bibas, the third baseman, a mile off the line against the left-hand hitter. Payoff pitch. Pop foul. Back into the seats again downstairs behind third. So that's 8 pitches now that Clark Schmidt has thrown Jeff McNeil. 86 pitches to this point thrown by Schmidt. Nothing wrong with that pitch count. It's how he's gotten there. There have been 5 walks. Now the payoff pitch. McNeil pops it up behind second base, backpedaling Volpe, the shortstop, onto the outfield grass, makes the catch about 30 feet out, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, a walk, nobody.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since 1921.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard. Go crazy.
Catch the next unforgettable call on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Let's see if you can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is Oppo Taco. Do you know what it means? Oppo Taco, a home run hit to the opposite field.
Austin Hayes with an Oppo Taco. His 13th, and it's a 1-run game.
Expand your vocabulary by listening to every game on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager said the following.
I really don't know what to say. I'm just so happy I gave something these people cheer. We all did. I mean, it was a great game. Both teams played incredible. It was a great game.
That's Mike Piazza after he hit an 8th inning go-ahead home run in the first New York Mets home game after 9/11. Hear moments like this and more on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Every game night is a chance to go big with MLB Big Inning. Turn on baseball's only nightly show that brings you the biggest plays of the night, live and commercial-free.
Strikes him out.
No one stacks more clutch plays into one live show with up to 4 games on a single screen.
Out of here! He is on fire. It's a walk-off winner.
Change up game night with baseball's biggest game changer, MLB Big Inning, presented by Ram Trucks. Every night, all season long on MLB.tv.
Yankee Stadium. Sitting at Yankee Stadium, Mets 2, Yankees 1. Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt, Jason Dominguez will hit for the Yankees against Griffin Canning, who's allowed a run on 4 hits, walking 1, striking out 4. And the first pitch to the left-hand hitting Bellinger, in for a called strike, 0-1, starting him off with a fastball. Don't forget, stay tuned after the game for the Verizon Mets postgame show. For the latest deals, drop into your local Verizon store. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And a breaking ball low. 1-1 to Bellinger. Cody Bellinger's playing center field today for the Yankees. Played left field last night. And that's how good a center fielder Trent Grisham is. Grisham did not start today. The 1-1 breaking ball hit deep to right center field. Back goes Taylor. This one's on the way, and it's gone for a home run for Clay Bellinger. It's not a cheap Yankee Stadium home run. That one was legit. Over 400 feet off the facing of the bleachers behind the Yankee bullpen in right center field for Bellinger, his 6th home run of the year, and the Yankees have tied it up. It's the Mets 2 and the Yankees 2.
Now, even though Canning has thrown a really great game, it's so slim, the margin for error in this ballpark against this team. The LeMahieu home run that just snuck out. This is a slider over the middle of the plate down. That's where Bellinger likes it. And he bombed that thing 432 feet away.
Here's Paul Goldschmidt, right-hand hitter, takes a breaking ball for a called strike, 0-1.
Mets are getting Huáscar Brazoban up. He was actually up as Canning went out for this inning, so he's been getting ready.
Here's the 0-1 to Goldschmidt. Fastball rides high. 1 ball and 1 strike with Dominguez on deck. So the Yankees, who lead the major leagues in home runs, have hit 2 today. It gives them 78 on the year. And the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Good slider by Canning. And the count 1-2. Yankees lead the major leagues in so many offensive categories. Batting average, runs per game, even walks. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball pulled on the ground to third. Backing up Beatty. He's got it. Long throw across in time to get Goldschmidt. And there's 1 away. That'll bring up Dominguez. Scoreboard update brought to you by the New York Lottery. Play the new scratch-off games for your chance to win. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Chase Mildrop led off with a home run for the White Sox. They lead the Cubs 1-0. Bottom of the 2nd in Chicago on rivalry weekend, which is great in Chicago, New York, and L.A. Pitch to Dominguez, rolled foul up the third base line, 0-1. But who are the Detroit Tigers' natural interleague rivals, or the Colorado Rockies' natural, say, American League rivals? That's one of the problems with interleague play. It's huge in some cities like this one. The 0-1 on the way, hit hard on the ground up the middle, base hit going into right center field. McNeil made a late slide for it, but by that time the ball was beyond his reach. And Dominguez has his 2nd hit of the game, a 1-out single. Anthony Volpe coming up. Griffin Canning may well be on very thin ice here.
And 90 pitches right now. Volpe up. Volpe's hit 2 weak ground balls that haven't even left the infield grass. Brett Beatty made some nice plays on him, and so maybe that matchup, that recent memory, has Mendoza with him facing Volpe here, staying for 1 more batter at least.
Volpe 4 for 10, including the 0 for 2 today against Canning. First pitch, swinging a pop foul, going back into the seats to the right of home plate on the 2nd deck. And the count, 0-1.
Well, there's a kind of a great little mini trivia question about all the states with 2 teams in them, and I love that people forget that St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, the Cardinals facing the Royals in their rivalry series.
Throw to first, diving back in is Dominguez. And they had a big ceremony last night in Kansas City because, as you mentioned, they're rivals of the Cardinals, and they played each other in the 1985 World Series when the Royals won their first World Championship. The Dinkinger Series. The runner goes. The 0-1 hit on the ground under the glove of a diving Alonso. Base hit into right field. Dominguez had slid into 2nd and stopped, but now he's able to get up and go to 3rd as Soto plays it in. Anthony Volpe on at first with a well-struck single under a diving Alonso. That's going to be it for Griffin Canning as the Yankees, who have tied the game 2-2 here in the bottom of the 6th, now have runners at the corners. 1 man out. J.C. Escara due up. And this pitching change and this slowdown in action is brought to you by Iservay.
Taking a Cadillac is more than just taking a drive. It elevates every journey. It's the smooth excitement of an all-electric Lyriq, The exhilarating thrill of pushing the limits in a Cadillac Optic. The liberating freedom in the expansive XT6. Or the confidence that could...
Let's see if you can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is Oppo Taco. Do you know what it means? Oppo Taco, a home run hit to the opposite field.
Austin Hayes with an Oppo Taco. His 13th, and it's a one-run game.
Expand your vocabulary by listening to every game on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since 1921.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard. Go crazy.
Catch the next unforgettable call on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Every game night is a chance to go big with MLB Big Inning. Turn on baseball's only nightly show that brings you the biggest plays of the night, live and commercial-free.
Strikes him out.
No one stacks more clutch plays into one live show with up to 4 games on a single screen.
Out of here! He is on fire. It's a walk-off winner.
Change up game night with baseball's biggest game changer, MLB Big Inning, presented by Ram Trucks. Every night, all season long on MLB.tv.
Brazabon comes out of the bullpen in relief of Griffin Canning, who goes 5 1/3, allowing 7 hits to this point, 2 runs, responsible for the 2 aboard. Walked 1, struck out 4, gave up 2 solo home runs. So now Brazabon is kind of morphed into more responsible assignments this year. Will get the outing here, and he has been fabulous, pitching to a 1.08 earned run average in 19 appearances, covering 25 innings. The infield is back at double play depth. J.C. Escara, left-hand batter up. First pitch hit softly on the ground to first. Big hop for Alonso, comes home. The slide, the tag, out at the plate is Dominguez. Alonso firing home. Dominguez thrown out 3-2. Volpe goes to second. Safe at first on a fielder's choice is Escara. 1 pitch. Brazabon not only picks up 1 big out, the second of the inning, but he takes that go-ahead run off of third base.
So first of all, great throw by Pete. This is him working in. But good job by Terrence to make the read and go down and then go to the runner. Don't let him totally come into you where he can maybe slide around the tag, go down and into the runner. And so he actually tagged Dominguez on the leg with plenty of room before he could get in toward home plate. Good job on both ends.
Oh, 2 out, and now a tough hitter in DJ LeMahieu, who was homered and singled. Remember, this guy's won a couple of batting titles. Maybe not exactly the same hitter anymore. Age and injuries have taken their toll. The runners go. First pitch taken outside. Throw to third by Terrence. Not in time. It is, well, what are we going to get here?
Umpire interference. This should move the runners back to first and second, and the Yankees are not going to be happy. But Terrence cocked his arm back to throw to third and hit the face mask off of the umpire, James Jean. And that is umpire interference, which means that the runners, even though they didn't do anything wrong, have to go back to first and second base. What a break for the Mets.
So in an era where catchers have been getting hit, and there have been more catchers' interferences over the last few years than we're used to seeing, in this case, Terrence back far enough so that as Gene, the umpire, he didn't lean too far forward, Gene didn't. Terrence just made contact, and so the Mets get a break. 1-0 to LeMahieu. The runners back at first and second. The pitch, fastball over, a called strike, 1-1. Just getting a look at the replay now. As Terrence fielded that ball, reaching across his elbow, knocked the mask off of the face of Gene. 1-1. Now the pitch. Swinging a liner foul off the end of the bat into the seats down the right field line. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It was one of those weird plays that it's a dead ball. And again, you can't fault the Yankees. It wasn't LeMahieu in the batter's box getting in the way. Just simply the umpire getting in the way.
1-2 the count to LeMahieu. The pitch, swinging a pop foul, straight back out of play. When they do the umpire ratings, as I say they, I mean, there are two different. There's kind of an independent MLB umpire scorecard that's available online, and there's also the internal evaluation of umpires by MLB. I'm sure they don't take too kindly to that. The 1-2 taken outside a breaking ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now Torrens maybe sets up a little further back than Francisco Alvarez does. At least just taking a look at where he was there and where the contact was. It was nothing unusual. Watching Gene, he wasn't leaning far ahead. 2-2 on the way. Breaking ball pulled on the ground to third. Picked by Beatty. Throws to second. Force play. Side retired. Brazaban gets out of it to keep this game even with a little help from the home plate ump, James Gene. Potentially anyway. No 1 run, 3 hits, no errors.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since 1921.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard. Go crazy.
Catch the next unforgettable call on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager said the following.
I really don't know what to say. I'm just so happy I gave something these people cheer. We all did. I mean, it was a great game. Both teams played incredible. It was a great game.
That's Mike Piazza after he hit an 8th inning go-ahead home run in the first New York Mets home game after 9/11. Hear moments like this and more on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Let's see if you can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is Oppo Taco. Do you know what it means? Oppo Taco, a home run hit to the opposite field.
Austin Hayes with an Oppo Taco. His 13th, and it's a 1-run game.
Expand your vocabulary by listening to every game on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Alarm me. It alarmed me. Well, we go to the 7th inning where the Mets and Yankees even 2-2. Yankees have used the home run ball. One of the relatively cheap variety by LeMahieu, the other a no-doubter, 440 feet by Bellinger. The Mets scored their runs on a couple of hits, sacrifice fly in the 4th. And so on even terms as we go to the 7th in the Bronx, Keith.
Torrens, Beatty, Taylor, then the top for the Mets, trying to break this 2-2 tie and pick up a win in this series, trying to even things up. First one from Schmidt to Torrens is line to left field. There's a base hit. Now Torrens gets the 7th inning started with a hit. Dominguez fires in, and here comes Aaron Boone out of the dugout. So he's going to give Schmidt one batter. Well, Torrens said on one pitch, "We'll make you make the changes." And so Mark Leiter Jr., who's been warming up, is about to come in. Mets 2, Yankees 2 in the 7th. Runner at first, Brett Beatty due up, and his pitching change is sponsored by River Spring Living. See what makes life at River Spring Living special. Visit riverspringliving.org today.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value.
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager said the following.
I really don't know what to say. I'm just so happy I gave something these people cheer. We all did. I mean, it was a great game. Both teams played incredible. It was a great game.
That's Mike Piazza after he hit an 8th inning go-ahead home run in the first New York Mets home game after 9/11. Hear moments like this and more on the MLB app and MLB.com.
It's a great night for baseball.
This matchup features some of the best talent in the game.
A lot of power, a lot of marquee names.
Here we go. Buckle up, folks. There's a guy who wants to be in the spotlight. The bats have come alive.
A showstopper.
We're just just playing Powerball.
This place doesn't know what hit him.
These teams are entertaining, are they not?
The show continues.
Experience game-to-game coverage of the night's biggest moments, live and commercial-free. MLB Network Strike Zone, Wednesday and Friday nights all season.
Let's see if you can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is Oppo Taco. Do you know what it means? Oppo Taco, a home run hit to the opposite field.
Austin Hayes with an Oppo Taco. His 13th, and it's a one-run game.
Expand your vocabulary by listening to every game on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Aaron Boone goes to his bullpen for the righty veteran Mark Leiter Jr., 34-year-old, who pitched last night for the Yankees, a scoreless 7th inning in the 6-2 Yankee win over the Mets. This one a little bit different of situation. It is the Mets 2 and the Yankees 2. Clark Schmidt, who left the game, got a nice round of applause here. Never thought a guy had walked 5 in one game would get a nice round of applause, but he kept the Yankees in it. He is responsible for Terrence over at first base. So Brett Beatty going to dig in here. 0 for 2. Batting left-handed. First pitch. Shoots to the outside corner. A sinker at 94 for a call. Strike one. For Leiter, he has that good sinker, but the split and that curveball, those are his two really nasty pitches. The splitter to lefties is devastating. And thanks to that good fastball, which Beatty just saw. 0-1. Swing and a miss at the curve. Slow 74-mile-an-hour curve. And it's 0-2. And Leiter, who was picked up from the Cubs last year, big part of the playoff push for the Yankees. Beatty takes his time. Has been great. Really hard to barrel him up. Striking out a lot of batters. Getting a lot of ground balls. Beatty, then Taylor, then the top. Mets 2, Yankees 2. Terrence, not really a threat to run, leads at first. Held on by Goldschmidt. The 0-2. Beatty, it's a ground ball to second base. LeMahieu's got it, flipped to second one. Volpe to first, close. Beatty is safe. Legs out the would-be double play. So he's safe at first base. Terrence is put out 4-6. And here is Tyrone Taylor. And as the Mets center fielder heads to the plate, Centers Healthcare would like to remind you that they're not just care, they're care that moves you. CentersHealthcare.com. Now Taylor, a line out to LeMahieu at second and a strikeout looking. That was again Schmidt. Go ahead man is at first for the Mets. 2-2 game in the 7th inning on a beautiful Saturday. Pitch on the outside corner, a sinker strike, and it's 0-1 on Taylor. Again, last year had some big moments against the Yankees. Hit 2 home runs against Garrett Cole, who is out for the year. Tommy John surgery for Cole. Middle infield is back, looking for a double play. Outfield deep, 0-1. That's cracked in the sky to left field and deep. Dominguez going back to the track, reaches up, it's over his head. Beatty gets to third base. He's getting waved around, heading home. Volpe's throw to the plate. Here's the slide, the tag. He is out. Escara puts the tag on. Beatty sliding in feet first. He is cut down at home plate. Tyrone Taylor gets to second. From the outfield track to shallow left to the plate to keep it tied. Bellinger to Volpe to Escara. 8-6-2.
And what a throw by Anthony Volpe. That kid out of Del Barton who won a Gold Glove as a rookie. The Mets may want to take a look at this.
The Mets are challenging the out call at home plate.
They are, but boy, that was some strong throw by Volpe. And watching the replay here, I don't see anything worth that's going to overturn that. Do you?
I don't. The throw beat him. It pulled Escara behind, basically in the righty batter's box, and had to come back down toward home plate. Beatty sliding in with one leg extended, the other leg folded over. And as that leg extended came in toward home plate, it was elevated a little bit, bouncing. And I don't think he got in. We're seeing a slow-mo now because that foot comes up. I think this call is going to not only stand but be confirmed. But the Mets, you'll have moving forward into the 8th a crew chief review you can ask for. So I guess you feel like in a game like this, go for it now. And here you go for an answer.
The call is confirmed. The runner's out.
You're right. Not only does it stand, it is confirmed. And, you know, everything had to happen perfectly on that play with the carom and then the strong throw first into Volpe and then Volpe's throw to the plate. And just as the Mets executed a perfect relay throw on the last homestand, so do the Yankees here against the Mets.
So here's Lindor, runner at second base, 2 outs in the 7th, tied at 2. Leiter holds the set, spins and throws to second base, and Taylor back in with a head first dive.
Yeah, the other thing, Keith, is it looked like the Mets got a break because that ball stayed in the park. It appeared at first as though it were going to bounce over the fence. And at that point, that would have been a mandated automatic double and would have kept Beatty at third. When it stayed in the park, it looked like the Mets probably were going to get the run.
Tie game. The first pitch, Lindor swings over top of a curve. 0-1, such a big swing. Lindor's helmet flopped up and back down on his head. Francisco today has walked in 3 trips. Walked and scored a run. Infield back around to the right. 2-2 game in the 7th. The 0-1. Lindor drops the bunt down but redirects it foul behind home plate. And now it is 0-2. The third baseman, Bibas, was playing normal depth and back. And Lindor tried to surprise him, but now he's behind 0-2 with 2 outs.
It's 2 out. I mean, you'd like Francisco to drive the run in here rather than leave it, even if it's Soto on deck.
Time call. James Jean getting the attention of Mark Leiter Jr. on the mound, waving his hands, pointing at Lindor, saying it was Lindor calling for time. Francisco with his sunglasses on today, Saturday in the Bronx. A lot of buzz in this ballpark. Taylor leads from second base. 0-2 pitch. Ground ball hit toward the middle. LeMahieu slides, knocks it down on the backhand to his feet, throws to first. In time, getting Lindor. What a play by the veteran LeMahieu up the middle, taking away a base hit and then throwing out Lindor. And the Mets, who made a lot happen, do not score in the 7th. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left. Time to get up and stretch at Yankee Stadium.
Let's see if you can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is Oppo Taco. Do you know what it means? Oppo Taco, a home run hit to the opposite field.
Austin Hayes with an Oppo Taco. His 13th, and it's a 1-run game.
Expand your vocabulary by listening to every game on the MLB app and MLB.com.
It's a great night for baseball.
This matchup features some of the best talent in the game. A lot of power, a lot of marquee names.
Here we go. Buckle up, folks. There's a guy who wants to be in the spotlight. The bats have come alive.
A showstopper.
We're just playing Powerball.
This place doesn't know what hit him.
These teams are entertaining, are they not? The show continues.
Experience game-to-game coverage of the night's biggest moments, live and commercial-free. MLB Network Strike Zone, Wednesday and Friday nights all season.
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager said the following.
I really don't know what to say. I'm just so happy I gave something these people cheer. We all did. I mean, it was a great game. Both teams played incredible. It was a great game.
That's Mike Piazza after he hit an 8th inning go-ahead home run in the first New York Mets home game after 9/11. Hear moments like this and more on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since 1921.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard. Go crazy.
Catch the next unforgettable call on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Back here in the Bronx, we stay tied. Mets 2, Yankees 2, bottom of the 7th inning. Oscar Brazoban's going to go back out for the bottom of the 7th after really a great job in the 6th inning to keep the Yankees, who had tied the game on Cody Bellinger's home run, from adding more. Brazoban came in with first and third and 1 out. Got a ground out, play at the plate, kept the runner from scoring. Alonso threw to Torrens for an out. Then he got DJ LeMahieu to ground out on a fielder's choice, kept it tied. The Mets had their chance in the top of the 7th. A great relay throw on a ball hit to the left center field warning track. Bellinger fielded it through to Volpe, through home to get Beatty. And then at the end of that inning, Francisco Lindor hit that ground ball to second base. And DJ LeMahieu cut up the middle, went to the backhand, turned it through to first, and kind of going to break. But the Mets didn't have a challenge to maybe see if Lindor maybe beat that ball out. But in any event, they go to the bottom of the seventh, tied at 2. For the Yankees, they'll have Bibas, then Rice and Judge, so 9, 1, and 2. But instead of Bibas, it looks like Trent Grisham is going to come out as a pinch hitter. Now this is the third baseman spot, and so Grisham is not a third baseman. This will be kind of a one and done for him probably. He's an outfielder. They do have Oswald Peraza on the bench. And Luis Torrens is the catcher, out talking to Oscar Brazaban, probably giving him the skinny on the Trent Grisham game plan. Well, on this Armed Forces Day, baseball salutes all active duty veterans and their families for their service to our country. We thank them as well here from this booth. Go to MLBtogether.com to learn how you can help serve those who serve us. Beautiful day to honor a great set of people. So here's Grisham leading off against Brazaban. Grisham with 12 home runs this year. Pitch. Swing and a miss. His helmet popped off. Big cut from Grisham for strike one. Grisham hit 17 home runs a couple of years ago over a full season. That was in 2022 with the Padres. He also hit 184 that year. 0-1. Fouled off at home plate. And it's 0-2. And you know that was a moment that sticks out because later on that year in the National League Wild Card Series in Flushing, a guy hitting a .184 hit, 4 home runs in that series? Something crazy that Grisham did against the Mets. 2 home runs, 4 for 8. I was thinking of the 4 hits. 4 for 8 with 2 home runs in that wild card series, where the Mets, who won 101 games, were eliminated. And Grisham was part of that. 0-2 on him. Brazaban deals. Misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Grisham was part of the Soto deal, coming this way from the Padres before last year. Former Milwaukee Brewer, former Gold Glove winner in the outfield. Batting here in place of Jorbit Bibas. 1-2. Down and in, missed with 98. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Grisham, then Rice, then Judge. Brazaban trying to keep the ball in the ballpark. It has flown out a bit today for the Yankees. A pair of solo home runs. 1 hit by Bellinger, 1 hit by LeMahieu. 2-2. Grisham flies it foul the other way and out of play. Mentioned Brazaban came in the 6th, took over for Griffin Canning. Canning's final line, 2 runs. Again, he's the one that gave up both home runs. 7 hits over 5 1/3. Struck out 4 and walked 1. The 2-2 misses outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And for Canning, he's given up 7 hits at times before. That has not allowed more than a home run in 1 game this year. And again, this is a different Griffin Canning this year. He actually pitched pretty well. That home run to LeMahieu was just one that snuck out over the right field wall back in the 3rd inning. 3-2 pitch, grounded weakly to third. Beatty charges, bends to pick it up, throws on the run in time. 1 away. Beatty looking really, really athletic on some plays at third base today. 1 out in the 7th.
And confident and aggressive. He looks like a totally different defender than he did in his early days with the New York Mets.
Here's Ben Rice in a tie game. We go back to the top of the order. And when number 22 was up for grabs after Juan Soto is no longer a Yankee, Ben Rice said, "I'll take that, thank you very much." So he's wearing number 22 in pinstripes. First pitch to him, grounded towards shortstop. Lindor to his right, hops to field, throws quickly to first in time, getting Rice by a step and a half. So it's a ground ball up the middle. Lindor played that perfectly. He was in the area. And now here's Aaron Judge batting with nobody on base.
Now you got to be really careful with him. Bellinger's on deck and he hit a 440-foot home run his last time out. But this late in a tie game, don't let Judge beat you here.
Mets 2, Yankees 2 in the 7th. Bases are clear. Judge 0 for 3 today. First pitch. Rounded foul. Rolled over on that one. Down and in. And it's 0-1. Judge was up. Big spot. First and second. And 2 outs there against Griffin Canning. And that was one of those at-bats where you knew Canning was, and he gave up the home runs, but he pitched well. He got Judge to ground out to end the inning. At the time, kept it 2-1. The 0-1 from Brazaban. Grounded foul again, jamming Judge in. That was 99 to the center of his bat by his belt. And it's 0-2, and he calls for time. Judge last night, 2 hits, both singles. He was on 3 out of 5 times. Today kept in check, but again, it's only as much as you can keep a guy in check who has put up video game numbers this year. His batting average has dropped mightily with the 0-for-3 today, down to .407. Brazaban is ahead of him here. 2 outs, 2 strikes. 2-2 game in the 7th. Pitch. Just missed away. Tried a cutter. And it's a ball and 2 strikes on Judge. Brazaban set. Infield is back. The 1-2. Missed inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Judge in the 3rd year of that, what looks like a bargain now. 9-year, $360 million deal. Less than half of what Soto got. 2-2 in a tie game. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Got it with a cutter away. Judge strikes out. We stay tied. Huascar Brazaban having a year so far for the Mets. We go to the 8th in the.
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager said the following.
I really don't know what to say. I'm just so happy I gave something these people cheer. We all did. I mean, it was a great game. Both teams played incredible. It was a great game.
That's Mike Piazza after he hit an 8th inning go-ahead home run in the first New York Mets home game after 9/11. Hear moments like this and more on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Let's see if you can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is Oppo Taco. Do you know what it means? Oppo Taco, a home run hit to the opposite field.
Austin Hayes with an Oppo Taco. His 13th, and it's a 1-run game.
Expand your vocabulary by listening to every game on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Introducing baseball's all-new national pregame show, MLB Tonight, live at 5. Join Greg, Harold, and Dan and a star-studded roster for a preview of all the night's matchups. Get a first look at the lineups.
Everything looks good right now for the Yankees.
First take from the players.
I'm just excited to put any pair of cleats on.
And the first of many breakdowns before the first pitch. A full night of baseball starts at 5. MLB Tonight's national pregame show. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on MLB Network.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since 1921.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard.
Mets 2, Yankees 2. Couple changes for the Yankees. Remember, they pinch hit for Jorby Bibas at third for Trent Grisham. But now Oswald Peraza comes in to play third base. And the new pitcher is side-arming lefty Tim Hill. And Hill will see Soto, Alonso, and Nimmo. Now he'll be lefty, righty, lefty in the 8th.
Mark Leiter faced 3 batters, getting credit for a full inning's work. And the first pitch by Hill to Juan Soto is in for a called strike, 0-1. Soto is 1 for 2 with a walk. So still a 2-2 game. Bellinger couple steps the other way at center, and the 0-1 breaks low, 1 ball and 1 strike. 10 years ago, Tim Hill was diagnosed with colon cancer. But here he is continuing to pitch successfully in the major leagues, now at the age of 35. The 1-1, a weak swing and a miss by Soto at a sinker that he did not appear to pick up out of the hand of Hill, who comes at you pretty much from the right field. Well, here it's almost the right field foul pole, and it's 1-2. Now the pitch, breaking ball, line down the right field line, foul. He got out in front of that one and shoots it deep into the corner in the lower right field stands, but a foul ball, and it is 1-2. Alonso and Nimmo to follow.
Peraza now at third, way off the line. The 1-2, foul, straight down at home plate. Probably hit Soto in the foot, too. And Juan does a little flexing. Griffin Canning pitched well. Give him the Mets Thriving Player of the Game. Thrivewell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center. Schedule your appointment at thrivewellinfusion.com. 1-2 to Soto, who still is not really broken out. Pitch way outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. A slider up and away. Soto has gone through stretches where he's hit the ball very hard, maybe a little too often on the ground without getting results. 2-2 pitch. Popped in the air to left field. Not terribly deep. Dominguez back a few steps, and he makes the catch, 1 man away. Soto 1 for 3 with a walk this afternoon. And now Pete Alonso will face the left-hander here. Alonso is grounded to short, drove in a run with a single in the 4th, and flied to left. Hill still has 2 more batters that he has to face in order to complete his mandate of 3 batters faced. But
Matt Blake's going to go out and talk to him. They do have Fernando Cruz warming up, but too early to go to him yet.
Got to pitch to 2 more batters. Cruz, a very hard thrower, and a big meeting on the mound. Who's the slowpoke walking in? Is that LeMahieu, who's not quite joining in? Everybody is huddled up on the mound for the Yankees except for one.
I'm going to go back to my position anyway. Do I have to come all the way in there?
It's LeMahieu. Well, he's been around long enough.
He's asking Volpe,
what do you say?
What are they saying there?
What I miss. Well, until just the other day, LeMahieu had missed the first quarter of the season. And he's had that calf problem, so maybe he's trying to save every step. Well, back in position, good to go. Here's Alonso, and the first pitch by Hill. Line towards left center, might be in for a hit, and it is. It's going to go to the wall. Pete's on his way to second. Bellinger up with the ball. He'll play it in, and Alonso stands at second with a 1-out double. And the go-ahead runners in scoring position now with 1 out. Left-hand hitting Brandon Nimmo coming up.
I do wonder if the Yankees met on the mound to say, well, what do you want to do with Alonso here? Because you have Nimmo to follow, and you're so nasty against lefties. You just want to hone in on that, and maybe, I don't know about putting Alonso on for free, but being very careful with him. And the next thing you know, Alonso bangs a double to the wall.
So he's in scoring position now for Brandon Nimmo. Brandon with an 8-game hitting streak going. He's 0 for 2 with a walk today. 2-2 game, 8th inning, first pitch. Foul back to the screen by Nimmo, 0-1. Brandon hitting .241 with men in scoring position for a Mets team that has often failed in these situations so far. Not been consistent in big opportunities across the board, but late innings has basically been their time. The 0-1, little pop foul going into the seats behind the third base dugout, as it was a sinker, and quickly the count 0-2. Mark Vientos waiting on deck. Now behind Vientos, who's a right-hand batter, is left-hand hitting Jeff McNeil. So Aaron Boone is covered after this plate appearance by Nimmo with the flexibility of going to get Hill if he wants to or not. The pitch, bouncing ball towards first. It almost clipped the bag, fielded behind first by Goldschmidt, and he gets there ahead of Nimmo to touch up for the 2nd out. Going to third is Alonso, and looks like Aaron Boone is going to make the move here and go to his right-hander, Fernando Cruz, to face the right-hand hitting Mark Vientos. And this call to the bullpen is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play the newest scratch-off games for a chance to win.
Pat McCarthy here, and I'd like to tell you about my alma mater, the College of New York.
Let's see if you can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is Oppo Taco. Do you know what it means? Oppo Taco, a home run hit to the opposite field.
Austin Hayes with an Oppo Taco, his 13th, and it's a 1-run game.
Expand your vocabulary by listening to every game on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Introducing baseball's all-new national pregame show, MLB Tonight, live at 5. Join Greg, Harold, and Dan and a star-studded roster for a preview of all the night's matchups. Get a first look at the lineups.
Everything looks good right now for the Yankees.
First take from the players.
I'm just excited to put any pair of cleats on.
And the first of many breakdowns before the first pitch. A full night of baseball starts at 5. MLB Tonight's national pregame show. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on MLB Network.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since 1921.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard. Go crazy.
Catch the next unforgettable call on the MLB app and MLB.com.
But Cruz has been phenomenal for the most part. 34 strikeouts, 22 and a third innings, allowing only 14 hits, a 2.42 earned run average. Former Cincinnati Red. And he is going to face Vientos here. Mark is 0 for 2. Struck out, hit a sac fly, and grounded into a double play. Alonso a big lead down the line at third. First pitch by Cruz, breaking ball, gets it over for a called strike, 0-1. The third baseman, Peraza, is deep enough so that Alonso can walk several feet down the line, a little bit further down the line than he might ordinarily, which could come in handy if there's a pitch in the dirt. The 0-1, waved at and missed. It was a breaking ball down and away, and faded badly from Vientos. A big chase there, and he puts himself in an 0-2 hole.
As that splitter that Cruz loves, he throws it more than any other pitch, by far any other pitch.
0-2 the count. Now the pitch lays off that one. It's low and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's a split, but it's got so much movement down and away from a right-hand hitter. Looking more like a breaking ball, but you know, a lot of guys who threw that split-fingered fastball threw it hard and straight down. This one has sweeping motion to it. And Vientos takes his time now.
Cruz has 34 strikeouts this year. 30 of them have come on that splitter.
Alonso is at third with 2 out. Of course, you can bury that split. That's why Alonso wants to get every foot that he can down the line with Peraza deep. 1-2. Long set. Longer still. Now the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him with a split, and that retires the side. That split was onside. And Vientos down on strikes, and the Mets come up empty in the 8th. 1 hit, 1 left. Middle of the 8th inning, the Mets.
Your day in baseball starts with MLB Central.
Let's get it started.
Lead off your morning with in-depth breakdowns.
Perfect balance. What? Boom.
Interviews with the players.
Get back to the fastball. I know what that passion feels like.
And a little bit.
Keeping.
You behave properly.
Hey.
Of everything else.
Come on, Marlins.
The window seats are. The baseball day begins with MLB Central. Weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. Only on MLB Network.
If you're not watching this show, you're the problem.
Let's see if you can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is Oppo Taco. Do you know what it means? Oppo Taco, a home run hit to the opposite field.
Austin Hayes with an Oppo Taco. His 13th, and it's a 1-run game.
Expand your vocabulary by listening to every game on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager said the following.
I really don't know what to say. I'm just so happy I gave something these people cheer. We all did. I mean, it was a great game. Both teams played incredible. It was a great game.
That's Mike Piazza after he hit an 8th inning go-ahead home run in the first New York Mets home game after 9/11. Hear moments like this and more on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since 1921.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard. Go crazy.
Catch the next unforgettable call on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Yankees 2, Reed Garrett, the new pitcher for the Mets. Huascar Brazoban, terrific again, retired all 5 that he faced. Cody Bellinger, left-hand hitter, leads off, homered his last time. And the first pitch by Garrett, taken for a called strike, 0-1. So you had the split from Fernando Cruz. And now Garrett, who also specializes in that pitch, gets ahead of Bellinger 0-1. Now the pitch, and that missed down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. It'll be Bellinger, Goldschmidt, and Dominguez. Tough assignment for Garrett here in the 8th inning, trying to keep this thing tied. 1-1 the count to Bellinger. Now the pitch, way upstairs with a fastball, ball 2. Bellinger hit one off the facing of the bleacher deck behind the Yankee bullpen in right center field, a 440-foot home run his last time up. 2-1. Now the pitch, little bit low with a fastball, 3 balls and 1 strike. Yankees have Devin Williams throwing in their bullpen. And that could be in a close situation. Remember, he struck out the side last night. 3-1 pitch. Outside, ball 4, and Garrett in a tie game beginning the bottom of the 8th walks the leadoff man.
Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what spot it is. Late in the game, leadoff walk is not a great idea.
Well, Goldschmidt will be the batter. He is 0 for 3. So, right away, the Yankees have that leadoff man aboard in an effort to break the tie. Bellinger can still run well. He has stolen 4 bases. First pitch, hit on the ground to short. Backhanded by Lindor. The second one, McNeil to first, double play. 6-4-3. Goldschmidt hit it right on the screws, but right to Lindor. And just like that, 2 out, nobody on.
It's just a good bounce back from Garrett. Again, everybody knows it in the building, especially Reed Garrett. You don't want to walk the leadoff man in a tie game anywhere ever. But he stayed true. Got the pitch he wanted, down and in. Goldschmidt hit it hard, but right over top, out to Lindor at short.
So that brings up Dominguez, who's 2 for 3, and he too is a power threat. Left-hand batter, first pitch by Garrett. Swing and a miss of the split, 0-1. Don't forget, stay tuned after the game for the Verizon Mets postgame show. For the latest deals, drop into your local Verizon store. 5 hits for the Mets, 7 for the Yankees. Neither team has made an error. The game tied at 2 in the 8th. Beatty way off the line at third, the outfield straightaway. And the 0-1 pitch. Taken low, another split. It evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Anthony Volpe is on deck. Scoreboard from Food Bazaar Supermarket. Shop local, eat global. 1-1 the count, now the pitch. Swing on a foul ball back to the screen. It's 1-2. Cubs lead the White Sox 4-2 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Detroit 1, Toronto 0. Bottom of the 2nd in Toronto. Right here, Mets 2, Yankees 2. 2 out, nobody on, last of the 8th. Garrett ahead of Dominguez, 1-2. The pitch. Bounce foul up the first baseline. The Mets will have McNeil, Torrens, and Beatty due up when we go to the top of the 9th inning.
Full bench, Acuna, Alvarez, Marte, Azócar, all available.
And all right-handed hitters. 1-2. Now the pitch. Low and inside. Try convincing Torrens of that. It was a fastball that Torrens thought had the inside corner at the knees. Carlos Mendoza yelling out to home plate James Jean, obviously, feels the same way.
That looked like a strike 3 to me.
Well, didn't to Jean. He's the only one in this whole yard who matters. The 2-2 coming. Little bit low, full count. It gives this a little bit of a different complexion here on 3-2.
Volpe on deck. Lindor at short is pulled way over towards the bag, just to the left of it, and at the edge of the outfield grass. McNeil, Alonso also deep and right at the edge of that grass. Alonso close to the line against the left-hand batter. So Garrett ready. Here's the payoff pitch to Dominguez. Outside, ball 4. Thought he had him struck out. Instead, he walks him. And so now the go-ahead run at first, and Anthony Volpe coming up. And that's 2 walks in the inning now allowed by Reed Garrett.
Yeah, there's no doubt that what would look like strike 3 kind of got in Reed's head a little bit. That was a pitch that looked pretty good down and in, and he just could not find the zone. So he'll have to reset here just like he did after walking Bellinger and got Goldschmidt. Can he bounce back and get Volpe now?
Volpe, a right-hand batter. Dominguez, not too big a lead at first. And the first pitch. Fastball missed inside, ball 1. Some fans who should know better just tried to get a wave going downstairs. If you're going to start a wave in a 2-2 game in the bottom of the 8th inning in what's been a good, crisp game, maybe you ought to follow another sport. 1-0 the count. The pitch. Rides high, ball 2, a cutter, and now Garrett puts his hands up and wants his catcher, Luis Torrens, to pay him a visit. And it's a good visit by Torrens here because they need to settle Garrett down if that third strike he didn't get is bothering him at all. He's been out of the strike zone since.
It's the best part about having Luis Torrens as your backup catcher. You have Alvarez, of course, who gets the off-day day game after night game. He's your leader back there, but Torrens can lead just like anybody else can do it as a leading man. But he's the backup catcher, so he's the type of guy, good calming presence to get Garrett back into this count, who's behind 2-0 on Volpe.
Volpe, a pesky hitter. He's got good speed, and so the Mets very deep and no doubles in the outfield. 2-0 pitch. Fouled, a little roller back towards the screen. Got a fastball at 96, and it's 2-1. J.C. Escarra is on deck. Yankees have 2 players left on their bench. Their other catcher, Austin Wells, and infielder Pablo Reyes. Wells a left-hand hitter, Reyes a right-hand batter. 2-1 to Volpe. Dominguez leads from first. Garrett deals. And a foul chopped right into the Mets dugout on the third base side. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Volpe.
It's a good splitter there from Reed Garrett. Down and in. Looked like a sinker at the knees. And then as Volpe pulls the trigger on that swing, all he can get is the top of the ball and pulling it foul.
So 2-2. Garrett sets. Throws to first. First disengagement, misplate appearance, and Dominguez slides in safely.
Can't forget about him. He does run well at first base, Jason Dominguez.
He has 4 stolen bases. The Yankees 8th in the American League in steals. 2-2. Garrett ready. Now the pitch. Swing and a liner to right field. That's a base hit along the line. It's going to roll to the wall. Waiting on it is Soto. Dominguez to third will be held there as Soto hustles it into McNeil. And pulling into second with a double is Volpe. And so the Yankees now, with runners at second and third, 2 out in this 2-2 game, have J.C. Escarra, their left-hand hitting catcher, due up.
You said the right word there, Howie. Pesky. And Volpe, his last at bat, a hit and run, slammed it through the right side. This time a double over Alonso into the corner in right field the other way. And when you give up those hits like Reed Garrett does, it's in the back of the zone. Volpe swinging late, just getting his hands to it at the last second and hitting it with oomph down that right field line to set up second and third. And again, they hate to harp on these things, but just moments ago, Garrett thought he had strike 3 to end the inning to Jason Dominguez. It was called a ball, and the innings continue.
I think what Soto had to calculate there, his experience in this ballpark probably helped to the extent that he knew that it was going to get to that wall quickly enough so that he'd have an opportunity to play a carom, hustle it in, and potentially hold that go-ahead run at third, which he did. More room down the line, that might not have been the case. So here's Escarra with 2 out. First pitch way outside, rescued by a somewhat lunging Luis Torrens for ball 1.
Garrett reached down and grabbed some dirt, and I think everybody in a Mets jersey is going, yes, do that. Try to get your grip back. That was scary.
1-0 the count. LeMahieu on deck. Garrett deals in the dirt with a split, boxed around a bit by Torrens, but he keeps it nearby, and it's ball 2. And sometimes if you're content to put a hitter on, and I don't know that that's the case with LeMahieu on deck, but first base is open. Don't get caught in between. If there's a certain contentedness to putting him on, better do that than risk what could happen here. A pitch in the dirt that gets away or a wild pitch. The 2-0. Low, ball 3. None of these 3 pitches terribly competitive. And so that would indicate that there's no way Escara should get a cookie here on 3-0. And of course, LeMahieu, a tough customer on deck. So Garrett ready. The 3-0 pitch, down and in, ball 4. Well, it looked like they were content to pitch around him, but you do that with a guy who throws splits in the dirt, you're taking a chance. The Mets were able to get away with it for now, but the for now part also foreshadows the looming hitter, and that's a tough cookie in DJ LeMahieu.
The scary part about LeMahieu is that he's such a good contact hitter. Even at this point in his career, you just know it's going to get hit somewhere. So Alonso, McNeil, Lindor, Beatty have to be very ready. When you have the bases loaded, you can go to any bag here for the force out. LeMahieu's already been tough enough today.
3 walks in the inning. The bases loaded, 2 out. And there was a double play in there. First pitch on the way. LeMahieu lines it to right. Coming on. Soto makes the catch. And that retires the side. He hit a tracer that was on the rise as Soto caught it at his right shoulder. And the Yankees leave him loaded in the 8th. No runs ahead. 3 men left at the end of 8 innings. The Mets 2, the Yankees 2.
Let's see if you can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is Oppo Taco. Do you know what it means? Oppo Taco, a home run hit to the opposite field.
Austin Hayes with an Oppo Taco. His 13th, and it's a 1-run game.
Expand your vocabulary by listening to every game on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager said the following.
I really don't know what to say. I'm just so happy I gave something these people cheer. We all did. I mean, it was a great game. Both teams played incredible. It was a great game.
That's Mike Piazza after he hit an 8th inning go-ahead home run in the first New York Mets home game after 9/11. Hear moments like this and more on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since 1921.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard. Go crazy.
Catch the next unforgettable call on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Every game night is a chance to go big with MLB Big Inning. Turn on baseball's only nightly show that brings you the biggest plays of the night, live and commercial-free.
Strikes him out.
No one stacks more clutch plays into one live show with up to 4 games on a single screen.
Out of here! He is on fire. It's a walk-off winner.
Change up game night with baseball's biggest game changer, MLB Big Inning, presented by Red.
Them loaded in the 4th when they scored both of their runs. They've let 6 aboard through 8. Yankees have left 9 aboard, including the bases loaded in the 8th. So Jeff McNeil leads off. Fernando Cruz stays in. His first pitch fastball is low for ball 1. So can the Mets find a way to build or scratch out a run here? 6, 7, and 8 in the order. McNeil, Torrens, and Beatty due up. Raza shortens up at third. The 1-0. McNeil lines it to right foul. Got out in front of a fastball and shoots it into the right field corner. Count 1 ball and 1 strike to McNeil, who's grounded to second, drawn a walk, hopped to short, broke his bat, or so it would appear. Either that or he's just going to rub up the handle a little bit.
New one there.
Yeah.
That pitch, that fastball there from Cruz, one of those few fastballs that he throws, broke that bat down and in.
And so McNeil works on the handle a little bit before walking up to home plate. Got some green fluorescent tape from the knob of that bat up a bit. No pine tar all the way up like Brett. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball low. 2 balls and 1 strike to McNeil.
One of the most absurd moments in baseball history, that Billy Martin pine tar moment with George Brett.
The absurdity lasted for a few more weeks, as I recall, but that history lesson will come some other time. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a liner towards left center. On his horse, Bellinger. He'll get there, and he makes the running catch, 1 man away. Bellinger catches the McNeil fly ball for the first out. And Luis Torrens is going to be next.
Yankee bullpen is quiet. Mets have Edwin Diaz up in that left field bullpen. You'd love to send him out to the bottom of the 9th with a lead, though.
Of course, Garrett walked 3 batters facing 6 hitters in that 8th inning. Well, here's Torrens, right-hand batter. Cruz delivers in tight with a fastball near his hands for ball 1. Torrens flied to right, walked, single to left. Mets 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. The Yankees 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Luis Angel Acuna has a helmet on in the Yankee dugout, or Met dugout. The 1-0 missed inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
If Torrens gets on, I'm sure Acuna is going to be the one to run for him. Just waiting for an opportunity to get on base at all against Cruz.
Brandon Nimmo munching on a waffle or something in the Mets dugout. They just showed a close-up of him on TV. Here's the 2-0. On the outside corner, a called strike, 2-1.
I don't remember the name of those things. They're kind of those mini waffles. It's not an Uncrustable. It's a Skinner?
Stinger?
Stinger. Pat McCarthy behind me is pointing to his arm and going, something or something. I thought it was Skinner.
I've never heard of them. Well, look, in case the game goes into extra innings, it might go long. Delaying dinner. 2-1 pitch. Little bit low. 3 balls and 1 strike. Missing with that split. That's not the hard split that so many others have thrown. That's an 80-mile-an-hour split from Cruz. 3-1 to Torrens. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, ball 4, and I guess that'll get Acuna into the game as Torrens begins to get rid of his paraphernalia. He's trotting towards first base, but Acuna is on his way out to meet him. So the Mets have the go-ahead man aboard with 1 out. Antoine Richardson says to Luis, "Good eye, son. Now go take a seat. See if the Mets can get this go-ahead run home." Acuna runs for Luis Torrens at first with 1 man out, and Brett Beatty coming up against the right-hand pitcher.
Now everyone knows in this stadium that Acuna is going to run, including Cruz, Vizquera, the catcher, the Yankees. Can Acuna make it obvious without making it too obvious and get thrown out here?
Beatty is 0 for 3. Will he take a pitch here to let Acuna run? Long set. Now a throw to first. Nothing doing other than Acuna able to dive back in easily. By holding that set, even with a pitch clock, in this case Fernando Cruz, the pitcher hoping that maybe Acuna may be a little too frisky and take off early. He did not, so that's 1 disengagement spent. First pitch, Beatty takes it. It's a called strike, a fastball, and it's 0-1.
Now Beatty thought that was down and away. That's maybe another pitch missed in the last 10 minutes against the Mets by the home plate umpire, James Jean.
Beatty sounded like he cracked his bat when he flied out to right earlier with the bases loaded. Takes high here, 1 ball and 1 strike. Now it's a big at-bat in this game for the Mets because Beatty was the 8th batter in that 4th inning. The Mets had 2 runs in to take a 2-1 lead. They had the bases loaded, and with this short porch, Beatty almost found it. 1-1. Now the pitch. That's popped in the air down the left field line, slicing foul. Came with a split again. Acuna was not running, and the count 1-2.
And J.C. Escara behind home plate has not thrown anybody out this year. Runners are 12 for 12 against him, and it's not totally on him. It's also on the pitchers, too. But those are good enough numbers. You figured Acuna would at least break. Hasn't done it yet.
1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball hit on the ground to the right side. Diving stop LeMahieu. Can't find the handle from his knees, and everybody's safe. It'll be an infield hit for Brett Beatty, who almost had it through the infield, which probably would have sent Acuna to third. So that's a big smother at the very least by LeMahieu, because if Acuna had gone to third, he'd be in position to score on an out. So it's an infield hit, runners at first and second, and right-hand hitting Tyrone Taylor coming up.
Well, we saw LeMahieu make that play in the 7th against Lindor, going up the middle on his backhand. If he went all the way left and made that play to get Beatty, he would have kicked Father Time right in the face with those plays, but he did not make that one.
Well, now the Mets fans would like to verbally send a message to the Yankee fans. That depends on what Taylor can do here. First and second, 1 out, tie game of the ninth. First pitch swung on and missed, a split, 0-1. No, it's the split, but I tell you watch it from behind home plate, and it's got all the properties of a curve or a slurve or a slider or even a sweeper. That's how much it moves away from a right-hand batter. The 0-1. Down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Taylor. He's lined to second, struck out looking, and doubled. Francisco Lindor on deck. Right hand throwing Ian Hamilton is warming up in the Yankee bullpen. 2-2 game. Runners at first and second, 1 out, top 9. Cruz is 1-1. In tight, did it hit him? I think it hit Taylor in the elbow and then clipped the catcher, Escara. Yep, Taylor's been hit by the pitch, and that loads the bases with 1 out.
And the umpires have been asked, did he go around on the swing? It looked like from here would have been close. The umpire at first, Adam Hammery, said no. And as soon as he said no, Aaron Boone ripped his hat off and rubbed his hand against his forehead. Could not believe Taylor did not go around on that check swing.
So I believe this is Aaron Boone, who's on his way to the mound. Managers don't wear their uniforms so we can see them anymore.
That looked like it hit Taylor, no doubt, and then redirected and hit Escara. But it looked like Tyrone Taylor went around there. We haven't seen an overhead, just a face-up look, so to speak, a look from the pitcher's view. It looked really close. Mets might have caught a break there.
Well, it is Matt Blake, the pitching coach, out at the mound. We're going to stay with Cruz here, with Francisco Lindor coming up. The bases are loaded, 1 out, top of the 9th inning. The Mets 2, the Yankees 2. Boy, you're right. You see in the replay, Aaron Boone was in absolute disbelief. It was not a swinging strike, even though he was hit by the pitch. So, here is Lindor, just trying to at least get that go-ahead run home. The middle infield back at double play depth. The first pitch on the way. Down and in with that split. Ball 1. So you've got Acuna with great speed at third. Beatty at second. Taylor at first. Good speed all around. The outfield straight away against Lindor. Dominguez shortened up a little bit in left field, trying to give themselves a chance on a play at the plate on a fly ball. 1-0. Here's the pitch. Down and in. Ball 2. Missing with a fastball. Lindor in a great hitter's spot now. Yankees, rather than move the infield in, gambling, they can get Lindor to hit a ball on the ground. They could turn into a double play. 2-0 the count. Now the pitch. Little bit low. Ball 3. Missed with a fastball. So nowhere for Cruz to put Lindor now. 3-0 the count. Acuna at third, Beatty at second, Taylor at first. Peraza even with a bag at third. The 3-0 to Lindor. Takes the fastball right down the middle, a called strike, 3-1. Well, if there was any temptation for Lindor to swing 3-0, certainly wasn't going to, as wild as he's been lately. But now 3-1, here's the pitch. Swinging a high pop-up, shallow left field. Dominguez with Bellinger. Bellinger makes the catch. Acuna tags coming down the line. Bellinger's throw not in time. Head first slide. Acuna comes across the plate with a go-ahead run, and the Mets take a 3-2 lead on a pretty shallow sacrifice fly off the bat of Francisco Lindor.
Tell you what, it was Dominguez and Bellinger. They wouldn't stop moving closer to each other. You wondered who was going to take the throw. They both have really good arms. But no matter, Acuna coming in, who pinch ran for Torrens way too fast. I mean, he really flies. He got started, and it really wasn't close, even as that ball, pretty strong, was on its way in.
So, the Mets have the lead. Now can they get some insurance? And, of course, the guy, you don't need us to tell you at the plate, is the guy they're booing all weekend, Juan Soto. So Cruz with his first pitch. Swinging a liner up the middle on one hop, grabbed by the shortstop, Volpe, who steps on second, side retired. Absolutely scorched at 113 miles an hour. Volpe had him played perfectly. And
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager said the following.
I really don't know what to say. I'm just so happy I gave something these people cheer. We all did. I mean, it was a great game. Both teams played incredible. It was a great game.
That's Mike Piazza after he hit an eighth-inning go-ahead home run in the first New York Mets home game after 9/11. Hear moments like this and more on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Let's see if you can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is Oppo Taco. Do you know what it means? Oppo Taco, a home run hit to the opposite field.
Austin Hayes with an Oppo Taco. His 13th, and it's a one-run game.
Expand your vocabulary by listening to every game on the MLB app and MLB.com.
All the big hits.
At the wall, gone! No doubt about it!
All the great grabs.
Oh, wow! You gotta be kidding me!
Put a cape on him!
And all the swagger.
And he does it in grand fashion!
Relive the day's biggest plays all in one lightning-fast hour.
Oh, my goodness! What a show! You better believe it!
Quick Pitch. Late nights and early mornings, only on MLB Network.
Odyssey Me of Odyssey Mets Radio.
Taking a Cadillac is more than just taking a drive. It elevates every journey. Experience the thrill of the Optic, the smooth exhilaration of the all-electric Lyric, or the spacious Escalade or Escalade IQ. Discover which Cadillac is right for you. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer.
Baseball season, folks. That's the perfect time to get a high-efficiency Peerless boiler. Start saving now and upgrade today. Find the Peerless boiler that's right for your home or business, as well as your list of local installers at peerlessboilers.com. Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers.
We go to the bottom of the ninth inning at Yankee Stadium. That's 3, Yankees 2. Let's pause for station identification.
This is Odyssey Mets Radio on WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Howie Rose, Keith Rad with you at Yankee Stadium. Mets have a 3-2 lead over the Yankees as we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. Edwin Diaz, the new pitcher for the Mets. Francisco Alvarez behind the plate in Jeff McNeil's 6th spot in the batting order. Luis Angel Acuna, who ran for the catcher Luis Torrens, stays in at second base. Diaz, the 4th pitcher the Mets have used. He's going to face Austin Wells, left-hand hitter to lead off. First pitch swung on and missed a fastball at 97, 0-1. So Edwin Diaz, in search of his 10th save, he's 1-0 with a 3.18 earned run average. And the pitch on the way. Taken in tight, a fastball at 98, 1-1. This is not going to be easy. Wells and then Ben Rice, a left-hand hitter, and then, of course, Aaron Judge. 1-1 the count, now the pitch. Swing and a foul, back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wells hitting .208 with 8 homers and 28 runs batted in. He does most of the catching for the Yankees. So Wells hitting for the third baseman, Peraza. Diaz with a 1-2. No inside with a slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rice on deck is a left-hand hitter. Judge behind him, another worldly hitter. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Little bit low with a slider, full count. And Diaz, who is occasionally prone to the walk, he has walked 8 in 17 innings, which is too high, is 3-2 here to Wells. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a slider down and in. And it looked like it would have been ball 4, but that's the thing with the slider. It looks like a strike until that last second, and Wells is down on strikes. 1 away.
And good squeeze by Alvarez. This slider is down and in, and it looks like some dirt was kicked up, but that was Alvarez's glove after receiving that pitch on the fly.
Here is Rice, 1 for 4, with Judge looming on deck. First pitch to the left-hand batter, slider in for a called strike. 0-1. Deep blue sky overhead. As Bob Murphy used to say, a few harmless, puffy, cumulus crowds and a packed house. The 0-1, swing and a miss at a fastball. And it's 0-2. Alvarez walks it up in front of home plate before returning the ball to Diaz. With a 1 o'clock start, no shadows in play right now, just bright sunshine engulfs the playing field. 0-2 to Ben Rice. Diaz to the belt, delivers. In tight. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He got that fastball up to 100 miles an hour, according to the SNY radar readings. I didn't even see the scoreboard reading here, but we haven't seen many triple digits from Diaz this year. Here's the 1-2, and a little broken bat looper towards third. Back goes Beatty, makes the catch. 2 men away. Kind of a dying quail because he cracked the bat. And now, wouldn't you know it, 2 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 9th, Mets 3, Yankees 2. Aaron Judge, the batter. You pay for this drama.
0 for 4 today. He's already come up with a big spot and grounded out. He has struck out twice. Everybody on their feet now.
First pitch by Diaz. Slider, strike 1 called. 0-1. Judge is just 0 for 2 in his career against Diaz. Beatty deep at third guarding the line. The 0-1. Breaking ball popped in the air. Foul. First base side out of play. Wiggle room now for Diaz. Ahead of the count 0-2. Mets leading 3-2 with 2 out, nobody on. Here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Cody Bellinger is on deck. Diaz trying to keep him there. 0-2 to Judge. Here's the pitch. Missed outside with a breaking ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You kind of knew that was coming down and away. Judge spit on it pretty easily.
Could go right back there again. We'll see. 1-2 the count to Judge. Diaz sets. Here's the pitch. Low and away. Same pitch. Slider missed by a little more. 2-2. Now the equation changes a little bit. Diaz threw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball to Ben Rice in this inning. Of course, Judge can turn any velocity around, but he's shown him that slider down and away a couple of times. Does he come perhaps up and in with heat? 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Swing on a pop foul, straight back out of play. Another 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and the battle continues between Diaz and Judge.
Just good to see that velocity up on a big day, big game, big matchup for Edwin Diaz. Always knew he had it in him, 100 miles an hour.
Diaz ready to go. Here's the 2-2 to Judge. Way outside, ball 3. Overthrew a slider there at 91. So what was 0-2? And then produced 2 sliders for balls. And then a foul ball on a fastball. And now a slider away. Has created the full count with a dangerous left-handed hitter, Cody Bellinger, on deck. But there's no one more dangerous on the planet than the guy in the batter's box now, Aaron Judge. 3-2, the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Put it in the books. Diaz punches out Judge with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and the Mets have evened up the first installment of this year's Subway Series at a game apiece. Diaz strikes out Judge, and the Mets win it in the 9th inning for the Yankees. 0 across the final score. The New York Mets 3 and the New York Yankees 2. Back to talk about it in a moment on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Kicks.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Captid Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
In life, a curveball can be thrown at any moment, and you need a team that knows how to hit it out of the park. The Rothenberg Law Firm has been crushing curveballs, sliders, and fastballs thrown at their clients for over 50 years. They're a team with remarkable courtroom experience, winning and collecting billions for their clients, because every setback deserves a major comeback. The Rothenberg Law Firm, 1-800-624-8888.
Lawyer for injured ones, injurylawyer.com.
Are you or a loved one living with Crohn's, colitis, MS, rheumatoid arthritis?
Off Base is coming in a brand new format. Join Lauren Gardner and Xavier Scruggs as they explore all the baseball buzz across social media, pop culture, and around the majors. The Off Base Podcast, Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern, only on MLB Network. The MLB Network Podcast is here. Join your favorite on-air personalities for unique perspectives, in-depth interviews, and untold stories from on and off the field. The MLB Network Podcast, presented by New Balance, Sundays at 11:30 Eastern.
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager said the following.
I really don't know what to say. I'm just so happy I gave something these people cheer. We all did. I mean, it was a great game. Both teams played incredible. It was a great game.
That's Mike Piazza after he hit an eighth-inning go-ahead home run in the first New York Mets home game after 9/11. Hear moments like this and more on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Let's see if you can figure out the following baseball slang term. Today's phrase is Oppo Taco. Do you know what it means? Oppo Taco, a home run hit to the opposite field.
Austin Hayes with an Oppo Taco. His 13th, and it's a one-run game.
Expand your vocabulary by listening to every game on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Or meat, whether on a stovetop, oven, or grill. It is built to withstand extreme heat. The probe is inserted into your food and connected wirelessly to an app. Once you select your desired doneness, the app will alert you when to take the steaks off the grill, and it even alerts you when to flip them. Order the newly released third-generation Chef IQ Sense right now with so many upgrades at ChefIQ.com. ChefIQ.com to get yours today.
Well, back here at Yankee Stadium, the Mets have defeated the Yankees by a score of 3-2 in what was a pretty tense game. Both teams had opportunities in the late innings. Reed Garrett bent but didn't break in the eighth, and then the Mets were able to scratch out a run in the top of the ninth inning before Edwin Diaz came on to pick up the save, working a 1-2-3 inning. We have not seen him hit triple digits very often this year, but he did several times in that ninth inning. The drama, of course, built to its crescendo, even though there was nobody on base, when Diaz faced Aaron Judge with 2 out, nobody on, and he struck him out with a fastball to win the game. And I would submit that, and especially just in that ninth inning with all the adrenaline that we saw from Diaz, that inning might have been as good as Diaz has looked since coming back after the knee surgery 2 years ago.
Saw 99, we saw 100, and we saw confidence with that. And I think with Diaz, that's a lot of what it is. You need a stomach for the ninth inning to close games in the major leagues. And when you can throw 99 to 100 against Aaron Judge, and you get a lot of swing and miss, you can't wait to throw that next one. And I think that's what happened there with Judge. He went ahead 0-2. Fell behind a little bit, let Judge get back in the count, and then went right back to that gasolina to put him away.
And the Mets were able to do some damage in the fourth inning when they scored 2 runs, one of them driven in by Pete Alonso. Had a good day. Pete 2 for 4, a single and a double, and he's standing by to talk about it with Pat McCarthy.
All right, Howie, thank you very much. Pete, congratulations. How about that job by Edwin Diaz there in the ninth?
Oh, he was electric today. I mean, he had, he for sure had it. I mean, he had all of his stuff working and mowed him down.
Big rally for you guys, second time through against Clark Schmidt there. Was anything different? Did you guys were able to pick up second time through?
I mean, he was sharp all day, but we were just, we put together some really good at-bats and we're able to get the job done. But, I mean, tip off the hat to Clark. He pitched really well today.
I want to ask you about that play at home plate, too, because it ends up being a really key play in the ground ball once Wascard came in. Is that just playing in as soon as that ball's hit to you, you know you're coming home with it?
I mean, just in the situation, tie ball game right there. Slow chopper because I'm holding the guy on. There's no way I'm going to get a double play, so the only play is get the sure out at home.
Pete, thanks for your time. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Howie, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Pat. That's a pretty big win for the Mets when you consider the series kind of as a whole, knowing they've got to face Max Fried tomorrow night, who's been phenomenal. Not to take anything away from the Mets starter tomorrow night, David Peterson, but you can make the case that Mets kind of needed this one after losing last night in sloppy fashion.
Absolutely, and you want to be a star in this city, in this town. Last night, who makes the last out? Juan Soto, and who makes the last out today is Aaron Judge for the Yankees, and so we are